Welcome, everybody, to the CrossFire podcast. We have had one hell of a pre-show. Let's see if we can make that happen, stream it right into the live show. I got a great group here. Listen, it's hot out, guys. I understand. Listen, you guys over on the West Coast, you guys get this all year long. We don't on the East Coast. So there's a lot of people right now barbecuing. They're probably sitting there right now. They looked at their phone. Like, oh, my God, Mooch is going live.
On the West Coast, it's a dry heat. If you come over here, you're drinking the air at like 70% like dew point and shit.
There is something to be said about that. I agree. But what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to sell the people that are like, it's 7 o'clock. Maybe I should go see Mooch and put down this hot dog and hamburger and go listen to this podcast. I think we got a lot to talk about. We actually get a chance to talk about games, current events. And let me introduce this panel real quick. I've got the one, the only. He's here on time this week. Crap Gamer. Crap, how the hell are you?
To speak to Crap Gamer, press 1. To have Crap Gamer talking about how Destiny sucks, press 2.
Oh, the crap movie phone. Damn it.
Mooch will find that particularly funny.
It's
kind of an in-joke. But yeah, so hey man, I'm happy to be here. It's it's always good to kick back. Well, I miss this stuff. Like I know people are like, you guys do so much content and podcasts, but you actually start to miss it.
You do.
Like when you don't do them regularly. So I enjoy it, man. It's almost like how I guess you like a band, right? When they're out on the road performing shows and stuff, they miss that, when they're not actually out there doing that. So to me, it's almost like a performance. And so not having done that in like a week, it sucks. So I'm glad to be back and kind of kicking it and doing that. So make sure you guys hit like and share this out and everything. So
I appreciate that, Crap. And we had a great impromptu yesterday. It was nice after a long week off, like Crap was just saying. Me and Crap were like, let's just get together and do what we did way back in the day. Talk some games, some current events.
They were like,
it.
That was awesome. Yeah. So, good
What's
time.
What's not to love? It's Mooch and Crap.
It is. We were just like joking around, shooting the shit. It was a good time, man.
It is, man. I had a really good time, and the audience did as well. I'll tell you that much. And then I've got my buddy here, Senora Bombastic, who gave me my second warm-up after my week off on Breakfast with Boom this morning. Boom, how the hell are you tonight?
You know what? We had a great show this morning, and we're going to have even a better show tonight.
Yeah, man. We've got to get that audience in here. I want to know, everybody in the chat, go ahead and feel free to take a second, tweet out the link, let people know, because we did take CrossFire off last week, had a family event, good times. And this is the time to kind of take some time off, because it was good to let a week and a half build up before we get some new current events, some new gaming news to come to the forefront. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Xbot 448 has got a lot of news for you. Some of it's Destiny news, which I can't wait to hear. Xbot, how the hell are you?
What's going on, people? Yo, Crap, don't diss Destiny, man.
How did we know that was Crap snoring?
Over 8, I can tell.
Yeah, I knew too. Yes.
But what's going on is great to be back on Crossfire. I feel like I was almost the last to know that we weren't doing Crossfire this
last week,
last week, man, because I was getting ready, I was getting my coffee, all that stuff, and then
I think that's bad, man. I was prepared for M&C on Sunday, right? Like ready to go.
Crap was putting his tie on.
Next thing I know, J-Dub's just like, no, I'm on vacation, and we were like,
you get set in a routine. You're ready to like turn that switch on and to give that gaming entertainment and gaming news out there to the people, and then you're like, what? No show? Oh man, what do I do now? But it's great. It's great to be back on. I cannot wait to talk Destiny 2 all the way through this show. I will squeeze it in somehow, some way, man.
Well, I hope you do it more sooner than later, to be honest with you, Xbot. And then I got a very good friend of mine. He's been on the show a couple of times. Max Power. Max, welcome back to the show, buddy. I gotta be honest with you, right?
He's the man.
He is the man. And I'll tell you, not just because of the Simpsons thing. I'll tell you right now, he's the man because he has been putting out quality videos day after day. The guy puts his time, effort in. Max, welcome back to the show, buddy. We're really interested to hear your opinion on this week's gaming news.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thanks for the invite again. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning over here
in
Australia, so I only woke up at 8:30. I saw the phone. Mooch said, "You want to come on Crossfire?" Quickly made myself a coffee, slammed that right down, got myself some water, got another coffee, and I'm ready.
Max says to
Destiny 2 before the show.
He goes, Mooch, I'm up and I'm ready to go.
I'm up and I'm ready.
Dude, it's great because this is your M&C mornings, basically.
Yeah,
this is your morning show.
For me. This is a perfect time for me. I've been up all night with my 7-month-old son, feeding him and stuff.
Oh, God bless you.
That's right. But now it's time to talk games.
Yes.
Amen.
Well, I'd like to talk about Xbox wants to talk about Destiny 2. I'm right in that conversation as well.
Well, everybody will, and that'll be when Crap excuses himself, right? Like he did during that E3 at Sony. He's like, this is time for me to get a bag of Funyuns and a Gatorade. I'll be right back.
Last of Us 2, man, and then I was just like,
The Last of Us 2, probably the game that was second or third most talked about during
Crap's gonna
E3.
call Google.
Hey,
He's gonna
Crap
be
was like, wait a minute, UPS is at the door.
man, like
Don't
at least
laugh.
I'm
That happened this morning on
That
a live
did happen
show.
to Boom. It did.
I'm consistent, man. I'm very consistent. I don't like that game. It's like I'm sure that lots of people do. That's fine, but I'm not one of
Consistent
those
in his
people.
hatred for it.
Your
I'm not one of those
anti-defense for it is great, Crap.
Hey, I'm not one of those people that's going to kiss that ass just because it's Naughty Dog or just because it's doing. It's literally.
no. You shouldn't.
There's nothing inventive about that game, in my opinion. They stole a story from BBC or something about spores that control the minds of ants. Because I saw that too, right? And they're like,
Wait,
what
what
if
do you
that could
mean
happen to
BBC?
people? But it's ridiculous. It could never happen to people. But they're like, hey, that'll be a spin on zombies, and it's just zombies. Stupid.
Yeah, Boom. This is why me and Boom have this connection. We are zombie lunatics. Crap's not a big fan. He's not a fan.
I was for the longest time, man. Like those first couple years of The Walking Dead were fire, man.
They were.
I was really into that stuff, and then everything started to every Call of Duty game, now this game has a zombie mode. This is a zombie. That's a zombie. We're not even going to call them zombies. Let's call them Zeds. Let's call them clickers. Let's call them whatever the hell they're called on Days Gone.
I do got to give you credit, Crap. I do got to give you credit there. We've had zombies in so many games, we've started naming them. I mean, they're Zeds.
Yeah.
The last time something was called Zed, I think, was Bobcat Goldthwait in Police Academy 4. Thank you, everybody.
Snaps will kill me, but yeah, I got to agree with Crap. Zombies have been completely like water throughout the industry, man. It's a dime a dozen now.
All right, now, Xbot, I'm going to come right back to you before I get into my main topics, but I do want to get the man himself. Yes, without the oops is here. Dirk Goldblum. Goldblum, welcome to the show tonight, buddy. How are you?
What's up, everyone?
There it is.
Glad to be here. Thanks, Crap. I appreciate that. Glad to be here, man. It's always fun being on Crossfire, and I'm ready to get into these topics, dude.
Yeah. Now, listen, Xbot, what were you just saying about zombies overstaying their welcome in video games? What does that mean?
Well, it's just that, man, once you can only ride a train so long before you have to get off. Make sure there's a destination. And I feel like developers out there in making games, that they've rode that zombie train for far too long. We got to go find a new
Boom. Can you have a
new
counter
character
to
to kind of like drown through.
I have
the
a counter to this
industry right now.
Look at
Press
State of
1 for a
K2.
counter. Press 2 for
Look at State of K2, dude. 3 million sold. Come on now. Like,
Listen,
well,
people
3
still
million
like the
players.
zombie
But
thing.
that, to be fair, that's like the Sims zombie. So I get the appeal to that. At least
yeah,
it's
that's
kind
true.
of different.
Just
for me
Crap
personally,
has two or three copies reserved of Resident Evil 2, the remake. Right?
I have 0 copies.
Ooh,
reserved.
Oh, come on, Crap.
That's going to be
This is
fantastic.
outrageous,
I can't
Crap,
wait,
even
man.
for you.
You know, like here's the thing, and Mooch knows this. They put all those Resident Evil games up for sale mistakenly for like $25 one year, and I bought them all,
That's true.
and I haven't even touched them.
He even yelled at me. You didn't
Yeah,
get
I
this for $29? And I'm like, I missed the
$29,
sale.
You get every single one of them, dude. And he's like, I probably won't play them. I was like, I probably won't either, but at least I have them.
Dude, I'm going to tell you this. Seriously, I don't know why you haven't touched it, but the biggest tragedy is not playing through 7. I mean,
Yeah, I have 7. I bought it, and then I
You
was
gotta
waiting for
play it,
the
Crap.
update, and then they finally updated. And I hear it's really good, but it's
it
just
looks fantastic, dude.
Yeah,
on
there's
the
just
X.
always other stuff that comes out, man. It's like something else hits and then something else. It's like, even though the joke is we have nothing to play, I'm literally swamped with things to play. It's like it went from like Vampire to Onrush to Nier to Crash Bandicoot Collection. You know what I mean? It's like there's just so many things. It's like hit after hit after hit if you're an Xbox gamer, and so it's just I don't really have like the backlog. I have trouble going back and kind of attacking it at times. So
Hold on, Crap. When it comes to Crash, did you play it for like 10 minutes and then you realized you played it before and you just stopped
No,
playing
you know
it?
what? I like that game. The first one is kind of balls, but the second and third one are actually pretty good platformers. The first one, again, this really shows its age, but I will say that I enjoy those games, man. It's good. I mooched it, so
There you go.
I do gotta say, crap. You should try. You should play.
Also, I got what the hell is that game that I mooched you, Mooch?
Red Faction.
Red Faction Gorilla Remastered. I also have that as well that I'm playing. So yeah, I got a ton
that
of
game actually looks really fantastic, to be honest.
Listen, and I told this story. Allow me to tell a story again. So Crap says to me on the 4th of July, right? This is a Mooch story, folks. So go ahead and get your popcorn ready. He says to me, we and Crap talk all day long. So he's talking to me, he goes, hey, so what do you think about this Red Faction Gorilla remake? And I'm like, it might not really be my bag. He's like, are you going to buy it? And I'm like, I'm not going to buy it. And he goes, all right, that's it. That was the end of the conversation. You go, Mooch, that's not funny. That's not even entertaining. So later on, he goes, so I got this extra coat, right? And I'm like, now my ears literally grow 6 times, right? It was like the Grinch's heart. It grew at the end. So my ears grow, and I go, yes. And he's like, well, I asked you if you had any interest in it. You said, not really. And I'm like, well, I got 65 games to play, but a code, those 25 digits are that's my lifeline. So he goes, well, all right then. He goes, it didn't seem like you liked it.
Yeah, like here's the thing. If you ask somebody if they're interested in a game and they're like, nah, are you going to give that person a code? No. So I was going to see if he was interested in it, but he was going to be like, yeah, I'm interested, but I don't know because I got a lot of stuff going on. I've just been like, here's a code. But he was like, eh. So I was like, okay. And then I told him while we're live on the air yesterday, I was like, well, I do have a code. I was trying to give you a code for the game.
I went through the microphone.
He was like, what are you talking about? A code? And I was like, yeah. So anyway, he mooched it live on air. I was like, here you go, man. Here's
he mooched it live on air.
He literally went through the transistors and dropped it right now.
I took a few minutes. I watched the reviews on all the big publications. It is a fun game. I am going to try it out because, to be honest with you, the one thing that interests me about it that I think that I'll get the opportunity now, and I know it came out in 2009, but
I beat it. It was great.
Right, but here's the thing, Boom. It probably still has the best physics as we've seen yet, right?
Yeah.
Crap says everything's destructible. Everything.
Yeah, everything's destructible. You can blow everything up, even your own players and stuff. It's ridiculous, and they'll start coming after you if you do that, of course. But what's cool about it is that game was one of those games, sort of like Metro back in the day.
Yeah,
really good game. Nobody bought it.
Yep.
Right. So basically, ended the franchise because nobody bought it. I think them bringing it back here is them trying to gauge interest, which it's a good franchise. So I think it'd be cool. Hopefully it can gain some traction. This is why I kind of I don't mind remasters. I think it has a terrible name for a remaster.
But,
the remastered edition. That's just stupid. Stop with that. Just call it Red Faction Gorilla Remastered. It's they're
trying to live off that Warmind hype from Destiny is what's going on.
Nobody cares about Destiny, dude. No, everybody's like Destiny.
How does that even correlate with Destiny, dude?
Destiny who?
I am gonna say this. I saw a dealer streaming it, and the destruction in that game for something that's 2009 seems almost imaginable.
Right.
Dude, they used to do that on the PS2 back in the day. Was really destructible like that too in some of those games. So
no, what my point, Crap, is that this gives me hope that Crackdown 3 will have some sort of destruction in the same vein.
Crackdown is thoroughly different. Like when we started hearing Crackdown, a lot of people who hate Xbox, they started bringing up Red Faction, right? And the thing about that is with the debris and stuff like that, Red Faction, everything disappears, right? With Crackdown, you can pick up and use absolutely everything that falls off of the buildings and stuff like that. I'm secure that Crackdown is coming out with that multiplayer. Let's be real. They have to, all right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is supposed to be that title that shows that cloud computing, when it comes to destruction in its fullest form, and they're not going to release the game without that. There would be no reason to do that. So, with Red Faction coming out there, the destruction looks great and stuff like that, but you're going to start hearing it again, guys. Well, why do we need Crackdown when they just did a remaster for Red Faction?
OG Mac says it's called remastered because it's on Mars, Crap Gamer. No shit.
Really? Crap, did you know that?
It still doesn't make it any less ridiculous, to be honest with you. Horrible. Like that's a terrible name. I don't.
It's a terrible
It's a bad name.
That's not good. That's not good. I can't condone it.
They tried to get real punny with it, and it's not. It's stupid, right? Like,
hey, Crap. Okay, Red Faction's on Mars, sir.
No shit.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you something. There was a few people before the show that were like, Mooch, start with this, Mooch, start with that. Here's what I'm going to start with, guys. This is kind of a big thing. Crap, you did a video on it. I think everyone's done a video on it, but this is a big deal. So I'm a big fan of Bethesda. And if you hear birds in the background, I can tell you that's Max because he lives in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought that was my family member.
It's got to be Max,
correct.
right?
Shut
That is
that
me.
birds up.
It's got to be Max. I have no idea, but listen, I'm a detective part-time. That's why me and Boom get along so well. So here's my thing. So,
I thought it was a family of otters in the back.
no, it was either Max. It was either Max or it was Def Jam Bam and his Seagulls. I wasn't sure. So, it's one or the other, folks.
Oh shoot!
But realistically, I think. Listen, Bethesda's a big company. Okay, this isn't the Mickey Mouse nonsense shit. We've done 2 weeks of podcasting where we went in on Sony about the Fortnite and being unconsumer friendly and all this other stuff where they're for the players, but they're not. And now you've got Todd Howard, who really, he's one of these people. There's only a few people in the business that can take a podium and actually come out and say something like this.
And people are going to listen to that.
And they're going to
guy.
listen, and it has
Yes.
merit. That's right. So when Todd Howard comes out and says, they're just not as friendly as people think. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. But they're not as helpful as people think.
Yeah.
They are, and listen, I've said this, so I'm not going to bash Sony. If I worked for Sony, I got to be honest with you, my vote would probably be to do exactly what they're doing. But realistically, now that everything's kumbaya out there, right? It's 2018. When you go get your mail, I hope you light a candle first. You light a candle, you go get your mail, you come back in the house. That's the way it is. So just so everybody knows. So nowadays, if you're not lighting that candle, and Sony is not lighting the candle. This is a problem. So what do you guys think? Crap, I know you did videos. Now let me start with you. Crap, what do you think about that?
I think it's ridiculous. And here's the thing. I don't give two shits about crossplay. What I do care about is
neither.
locking the content.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, that's the big deal. Yep.
Right? Like if you don't want to do crossplay, fine, don't do crossplay. But I think the future is the cross progression. And that should be something that they shouldn't be afraid of, right? Nowadays, most people have multiple consoles, multiple way to play games. Like you do, Mooch. Wouldn't you like to carry your character over on Destiny 2 to the PS4 version?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, you would.
That's it.
So
Yeah.
why
Because
couldn't
I'm
you?
starting from scratch right now, and it sucks, crap.
It sucks, right? So I'm not saying that you should only have to buy one copy. You still bought 2 copies, but you have an account. Like Bungie has accounts. So why can't you take your shit with you over to that account? You know what I mean? Like that to me makes sense. The fact that you can't, that really shows that Sony is back to their old, not that I don't think they ever left their old ways. They just found a way to exploit Microsoft's fuck up. And that's unfortunate. That's wearing off. Like if people don't realize what's going on, let me clue in some of the Sony fanboys what's going on right now. Microsoft, they're setting up for next generation. They're setting up to beat Sony next generation. You might laugh and go, that'll never happen. Will it not though? Microsoft has made way more friends this generation with indie developers, mainstream developers, Japanese developers. They're right now getting input from Japanese developers for their next Xbox, right? They've made the easiest, most powerful console to develop for. They're doing a way for developers to get money with the blockchain. They're getting their money right away. They're not having to wait months for payments.
Right.
They just bought more studios. They're going to buy even more studios.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right?
Yes.
They are setting themselves up for a victory. And anybody that doesn't believe that, hey, stranger things have happened. I'm just saying. Sony's going to have to rely on being ingenuitive themselves,
yes,
rather than waiting for Microsoft to screw up and take advantage of it. Sony, and I don't know if this Sony right now can do that. They're not the smartest lot in the they're not the brightest bulb, so to speak.
Yeah.
The people that are running the PlayStation brand right now are not the ones, the Jack Trettons and all that were able to take advantage of the Xbox failings early on. That's over. That's over.
Yeah.
And things are going to change, and things are changing drastically. Well, Game Pass, I'm not a huge fan of it. It is kind of what it is, but people like it. It's a smart move on Microsoft's part for sure. What they're doing. Their commitment is what people wanted to hear from E3. Fuck hearing about this game or that game that are 3 or 4 years out. I get that some people are whining about that, but get over it. They got the studios now. Those games are coming. That's what most people really wanted. We got that. So I think Microsoft put themselves in a great position, and it's going to be fun to see the meltdowns next generation.
No, I agree. Go ahead, Xbot.
My bad.
No, I just want to say real quick. Let me just say real quick. Thanks to Good Dang for the 5. I appreciate that. Good Dang. Ask a question, by the way, if you have to. Go ahead, Xbot.
I just want to say, I gotta say, bravo to Microsoft and Xbox, because I don't think everybody out there sees what they did here. They weren't gonna combat PlayStation and Sony in the traditional sense. So what did they do? They went to a narrative where Sony would have the hardest time adjusting. They were what do you say? Kumbaya, right? They were praising Nintendo and everything like that down the line. They were getting the developers on their side and stuff like that. And with doing that whole praising and stuff, they started this whole crossplay thing, which Sony is now kind of left out, in the backyard, man. They're not in the house right now on their own decision. And they created this narrative here, and Sony with how rigid and structured they are, and they have a hard time evolving. You saw it with with their music division. You see it in their movie division and stuff like that. They have a hard time evolving with change. And now Microsoft built that narrative. They brought Nintendo into it. They're all buddy and stuff. There's a narrative that's changing. And if Sony stays the way with this kind of dinosaur mentality, they are really shooting themselves in the foot when it comes to next generation and beyond. And I think that's what Xbox's plan was when they started doing that whole thing, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's something else to be said here, and then I'm going to pass the mic to Max. To be honest with you, Sony came out this generation, and let's just call a spade, guys. Let's forget about the power. Let's forget about all this and that. They were for the players. Part of it was the power, but the other part of it was because they were helping indie developers. They were there for you. Remember, this is how you use old games and used games. They did the whole
here
thing.
You go, smarmy ass. Give it to Adam Boys.
Right,
now give it back to Yoshida.
Here
we go. We're sharing.
We did the 1 2 around. And so they did all this stuff. They did this propaganda pitch. And now let me tell you something, folks. We were all bamboozled because Xbox was never, ever not friendly to the consumer. They never said you couldn't use the games. They never could. The media ran with this pitch with the whole 24-hour ping thing, and you're not going to be able to use a disc anymore. You're not going to be able to use this, and blah, blah, blah. And they scared the crap out of everybody. Remember this? Remember, Connect was watching you crap.
It was so much better set up for a gamer like me because I would have got to keep my physical disc, but didn't need to fucking put them in.
I thought it was genius.
It was. That's so genius because you know what? When my internet was out for those couple days, I didn't game on my Xbox One because I'm offline. I don't game when I'm offline. It's just it doesn't work right, and it's not just Xbox; it's PlayStation as well. Your stuff doesn't sync. It's not. You can't get your patches, your updates. I don't do it. So for me, it just made sense. I would have liked to have been able to do the way that they were talking about originally. Oh, damn, what am I, BAM now? I got all in the background. Yeah, so I like
you don't realize crap is Max is the father of dragons. Go ahead.
Oh, gotcha. But I gotta say, so if you look at the things that Sony are saying no to right now, how could anybody think them anything but anti-consumer? Whether you're it's easy to go, well, do people really care about crossplay? Because Mooch, you and I don't give a shit about that.
No,
right?
not at all, really.
To be honest with you, it's still anti-consumer even if we don't care about it. Just because you don't care about it doesn't mean it's not that way, right? So they're saying no to crossplay, no to cross progression. They've also said no to backward compatibility. Who would play that? Shrug, right?
Yes.
They said they don't
EA access.
Yeah, EA access. They said no to. They don't have a preview program. Which if it wasn't for that preview program, we wouldn't be having games like PubG. So to me, it's what Microsoft has done has been incredibly friendly towards gamers, towards the fans, towards developers, and it's starting to pay off. There's nothing for Sony to use as ammo against them, and I think that's where the biggest surprise for next generation is going to go.
No, I agree with you, Crap. I think everything you said was, and everybody in the chat is completely agreeing with you. Max, what's your take on all this whole thing where now you have a situation with Sony where you could see they're not being friendly to consumers by not allowing crossplay? Everybody else, listen, here's the thing. Even though I don't think Sony's necessarily wrong, I got to say, when you have 2 out of 3, I mean, Meatloaf said it best, right? When you got 2 out of 3, that ain't so bad. You got to roll with it at that point or you look like the bad guy. Max, what's your take from the Australian side? What are people saying over there in the press?
I'll just elaborate on one thing that Crap just said then, was when he said they don't have a game preview program on the PlayStation side of things. And that's with the success that PUBG's had, we'll get to this later with the 8 million players, the 8 million sales, that's incredible. But that could have really done a lot on the Sony side because I just did a video on No Man's Sky. If No Man's Sky had have come out in a game preview program and not as a $60 retail release, that game would have been completely different. The media would have seen it completely different. Gamers would have seen it completely different. It'd be a completely different game, and it could grow with players as they went along. Now, in terms of like crossplay and things like that, I don't really care. I think the industry is going towards crossplay, and it will eventually happen. But me personally, I only play with other players on the Xbox side of things in terms of the multiplayer. I don't do it on the PlayStation at all. So it's only about the Xbox side of things for me.
What do you think, though, Max? What about the whole like crossplay thing? I mean, do you care about crossplay? Do you care that you can't take your character, like not necessarily playing Switch to Xbox, but what about moving your character over in Destiny from one console
I definitely would love to do that. That's why I don't play it on the PlayStation at all. I don't want to start from scratch again with this character.
Yes, that's the big
I don't want to do. I've already done 3 on the Xbox.
His PS4 character, and imagine if he could just bring over his characters from Xbox over to PS4, he'd be all set. He'd be good to go.
That would be incredible. But I don't want to have to start again. Like I've already done 3 characters on the first game, 3 characters on the second game. I don't want to go to a completely new platform and have to start from scratch again. I've already done it.
Yeah.
I've already done it 3 times.
Right.
And I don't want to play through that story again. But the other thing as well was, I think last time I was on the show, I mentioned this as well in regards to Microsoft, was that they're struggling a hell of a lot to compete with Sony this generation. And they know that, and everyone knows that. So what does Microsoft start to do? If you can't compete in the industry as it is, change it.
Change the industry.
Change it.
Exactly.
Change it to a point where it's in your favor to do it. They've got backwards compatibility. They've got game preview. They want to do crossplay. They want to do all of these things that Sony doesn't want to do. But come the next generation, just like Crap was saying before, I don't want to put my disc inside the drive to be able to play it. And if Microsoft got their way in 2013, you would be able to do that.
Yeah.
Now, people didn't want that back then, but 5 years later in 2018, that should be normal.
Here's the thing, Max. I want to kind of elaborate on this. There's a few people, and shout out to the guys that are great. By the way, Adam Sharp, Millennial. There's a couple of guys here that are PS guys. And listen, I like what you're saying. And actually, I'm picking up Thumbs has a really funny one. By the way, I still love the doll as your icon. That's hysterical. But it is. It's funny. I like it. But realistically, I got to tell you this. Like, we have to realize that Sony right now is not being like consumer friendly. And here's the problem. I'm actually with the PlayStation guys in the chat. They're saying, we don't need to play with Xbox people. We don't need to play with PC people. Me and Crap actually agree with you guys. Here's the problem to you PlayStation fans. Trust me, the gaming media is built on the Unity candle. Not the Unity engine, the Unity candle.
Thank God, if it was on the Unity engine, we'd be screwed.
That's true. But hear me out, guys. It is built on the Unity candle. So they have to go out there and be like, wait a minute. Whatever's for all is for us. And that's what they do. So if Sony's not going to play ball, right, and they're not going to play with Nintendo and Xbox, even if the media wants to take Sony's side, you have to understand that you are in for a world of media hate, because what Xbox did is Xbox probably had a meeting, and kudos to Phil. Like, I don't give a lot of pro anything to Phil, but I will say this much to Phil. He probably sat around and said, listen, guys, we're burning more wax than Yankee Candle Company right now, okay? We are really, really doing it right. Let's keep this whole kumbaya up thing, because eventually it's like I said a couple weeks ago. It's like the Eminem show 8 Mile, the movie 8 Mile. At the end of it, if you just keep busting your own chops, you give the enemy nothing to attack on. So Microsoft being so pro-consumer on so many different levels, Sony eventually, by attrition, looks like they're just bad, when really they're just doing good business practice.
Crap.
So do you see what I'm saying here? This is a big negative. So all you guys that are Sony fans, hear me out. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think you have a point. But the problem is the media is going to absolutely eat you up and spit you out, because they are all for the, and I do this in air quotes because we all know it's crap, right? But they're for the gamer. They got to watch out for the gamer. So they're going to take the side of 2 out of 3. Go ahead, Boom.
Mooch, check this out. Like, this is how much that they are ingrained in kind of like that dinosaur mentality, and they don't want to change. A game called Minecraft, which I know it's owned by Microsoft, but you know how many millions of players play that game on multiple devices. We're talking PC, we're talking portable, Switch, Xbox, all that. when it came down to it, Microsoft, Xbox, and Mojang, they decided that they were going to make a universal game that could be played on multiple devices, right? That would put in crossplay, though. So when Sony said no, Sony is stuck with a older, dated PS4 edition of Minecraft.
Yeah,
that cannot be updated anymore. Right? Any of the updates are going for the universal game, everything like that. They're literally taking game features and experiences from people who bought that game on that platform. They're taking them and say, no, you can't do that because we don't want to play with other people.
Yeah.
That's right.
Basically what they're doing. That's a huge step back. I don't care what kind of fan you are. I don't care if you're a PS4, Xbox. I don't care if you love Facebook games. This should be something that you're out there saying, what the hell is going on here? When everybody else gets to get updated and get, new content for this game and everything, but the only ones that don't is PS4 because Sony said no.
Right. Well, listen, let me just elaborate on what everyone has been talking about. See, my biggest like dumb moment since this whole thing started is that I don't want to say Sony fanboys. I just want to say Sony players because I don't want to offend anybody. But I'm going to say this: if you're one of these players that are on their totem pole defending this BS, then you really have to bring this down to the most simplest way people understand something, Mooch, and that's money.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, very simply put, and we beat this horse to death, but I'm going to just go just a little bit more. If you're a player that plays on the PlayStation 4 and your game at the moment happens to be Fortnite, and even though you don't like microtransactions, you dropped $63 on emojis, dances, and weapon skins, and that all of a sudden you get a bug and you get the Switch because Fortnite is going to be available, and you're like, well, this is fantastic. I can play on the go now when I'm taking a dump, when I'm sitting doing the laundry, when I'm at the doctor's office. This is great. I'm going to keep going. And then you get that screen that flashes across and says, oh, sorry, don't call the support for this because they can't help you. We don't you can't play on Switch. Start a new account. If you are somehow white knighting this as a Sony fan, that this cross progression is blocked on the money that you spent. You spent this money. Okay, you spent $63 on all this, dances and all this other shenanigans, and you can't play on another console. I think that's where the real problem is. Like I said, cross play, say whatever you want. If you want it, you don't want it, whatever. Cross progression, locking your paid stuff behind a wall simply because they want to live in 1994 is absolutely unacceptable business practices in 2018.
That's a true statement. Everything you said was true, and that's the thing. It's the cross progression more than the cross play. That's something that should be open. Like we literally, my son. I gotta be honest with you. I hope the person that's not listening to Crossfire is probably Ninja. My son is so good at freaking Fortnite. Like, I literally watch him play the game. He is so good. He is so good on Xbox with Fortnite. It's ridiculous. Anyways, that's another subject. But he's so good at it. And he's like, hey, listen, my buddy has a PS4. He's like, you mind if I use your PS4 account? And I play with my friend. And I go, that's fine. But I go, by the way, don't put your Epic account into the PS4 because then you'll lock it. And you want, right? And guys, tell me if I'm wrong here. But I told him he has to start a new Epic account and have basically start your progression from ground zero again on the PS4, because if he puts that in there, then he's locked out of the Xbox and Switch.
Yeah.
So and if I'm wrong, please, I stand corrected. This is only what I've heard from articles or read from articles and heard from people that I know. But nonetheless, that is a problem. Why? I mean, Sony has to understand that this is not looking good. And, I said crap. The one good thing I saw was Sony was like, okay, we're losing this Fortnite battle. It's not looking good. So they went ahead and made a deal where they put a free game into a box, right? You know, I mean, I always say
that's the type of geniuses that we have at Sony.
At Sony. Well, crap. Now listen, and you came around afterwards. It's an idiotic thing to think about when we're sitting here talking about.
I mean, it's a huge name. It's a huge name for sure. Yeah, I mean,
for branding.
Yeah, you know, it is, but it's still just utterly ridiculous when you think about it. You know, but I get why they did it, but there's so many other games that they could have done that with. You know, so I get why they did it. Because they've been slick like that this whole generation, right? Like, hey, let's slap a Darth Vader sticker on it. Let's snap a sticker of Batman on there. That'll sell some, whatever they could do.
Bars.
Yeah. So it's funny. Like, I remember when Microsoft had that Titanfall 1 custom console. I remember an article, and you can probably Google it. It's something to the effect of desperate Microsoft already coming out with custom consoles or something like that, right?
Right.
And then it was so funny because Sony has come out with so many custom consoles, and not one time have they been called desperate.
It's true.
So, I mean, and this millennial Maddie in the chat doesn't know what they're talking about, by the way. Anti-consumer is when you're not pro-consumer. So when you're sitting there telling consumers what they should do or what they should like, that's anti-consumer there, right? So Sony telling me, you don't want to play backwards compatible games. You don't want crossplay. You don't want cross progression. You don't want to play. You don't want game preview. You don't want
other services.
You don't want. Yeah, that's anti-consumer. No matter how you try to spin it, it's anti-consumer.
Right.
And I did bring up that, hey, they did try to patent the term "let's play," which is trying to screw consumers even more. Right? They tried to take that away from people on YouTube and other places. That's the company that Sony is, man. They're not for the players. You can sit there and come up with these little slogans all you want, and at the end of the day, guess what? It's still just bullshit slogans. And the people that fall for slogans are always like the weak-minded kind of morons, right? Mm-hmm. They're the ones that are like, Sony says they're for the players, and they just will spout the shit that Sony says all the time without having any concern whatsoever that anything Sony doing. I'm an Xbox fan. I'm a fanboy. I admit that, right? But let me say this, and Mooch and this whole fucking panel will tell you, I did nothing but worry about Xbox leading up to E3, and Boom will say that. Right. Everybody here will say that. I was the one going on saying Microsoft needs to do this, this, and this, right? And they did. They did exactly what they needed to do. Sony are the ones that are allowed to get away with everything. Their fan base just gives them a free fucking pass on everything.
Everything.
They're so moronic. They're so moronic that they just are okay with it. So that's what's going to lead Sony to ruin one day, right? That's what's going to lead them to ruin, not Microsoft, not this. It's the fact that their fans just let them get away with whatever the hell they want. So keep on doing it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it.
Well, listen.
When you look at it, Crab, like when we're talking about this crossplay and we've seen it in the chat and you see it on social media, it's like, well, Sony doesn't have to do that. Look how many consoles they sold. And it's like, to that person.
Yeah, well, that was Sony's official response. What do you expect? Yeah. They're going to parrot everything Sony says.
What
Sony's
does that do for the person?
We're gonna take a look. We're gonna take a look at. We're gonna investigate that. People might want crossplay. We're gonna investigate that. In the meantime, we sold 78 million consoles.
Yeah, like what does it do for the person on social media, the person in the chat? Like, what kind of defense is that for you as a gamer? If everybody else is playing this game on other devices and they're able to bring their stuff over, wouldn't you want your stuff to be able to come over from the PS4 or to go over to whatever handheld you're playing on or whatnot? Like, wouldn't you as a gamer want that and not defend it with, well, Sony sold 78 million consoles, they don't need to do it? Like, you're giving them the pass to not give gamers what they want, yo.
Well, two things I want to do real quick is introduce Predators here. Pred, welcome to the show. Pred, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Good. I'm a little late, but my daughter drove up from out of town, so I had to spend some time with her.
Pred had the best one-liner with me. He's like, Mooch, it's going to be tough to make it tonight. He's like, right when you're starting up, my daughter will be leaving. I'm like, that's actually the best time that could possibly happen. Let's get you in here, Pred. Like, fine, I'll be there. Fine. And second, before I ask Pred what his opinion is on this, before we go, Sleepy Goblin says, for crap and toast. By the way, off topic. Did you play Shaq Fu yet, bro?
Yeah, I played Shaq Fu. Somebody gifted that to me. I wasn't sure if it's because they hated me or not, but it's actually not terrible. It is repetitive. It's kind of
like
funny.
Double Dragon, right?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, it can get like a little repetitive, but it's not bad. It's not terrible. So
Well, that's good. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, buddy. Listen, Brad, I want to ask you. We're talking crossplay. We're talking the lack thereof on Sony. What's your take on it from the media's perspective of it, and all the way down to the gamers? What's your opinion on it? Do you care, or do you think even if you don't care, is it something they should do?
I'll answer that last question first. I do think it's something they should do at some point in time. I don't think they have to do it right now because the whole market share thing, et cetera, et cetera. We can go on for that. We've talked about this for endless amounts of weeks. I don't want to drag into it. If they don't want to do crossplay, at least cross progression. I think that's really more what most people want anyway. Bring your gameplay from one console to the next. You have to buy extra shit and do. You like to start a whole new character over. I mean, could you imagine grinding in Destiny and then changing over to the Xbox and just having the same character ready for you?
That's what we were saying, Pred, and that's the nightmare I'm living right now.
Hopefully this runs off Millennial Maddie. Anti-consumer definition, by definition, not favorable to consumers and properly favoring the interests of businesses over the interests of consumers. So that's all anti-consumer. Sorry, you just got. I dropped the mic on your ass.
Dictionary?
Yeah, that's yes.
I'm glad you did that crap.
I literally just dropped the mic on you. Get out of here. You're done. You can't come back from that. You try to come back from that, I'm gonna ban you.
I feel like Crap just leaves a dictionary next to his desk all the time.
No, it really does.
He's prepared when people try to call him out, and like I said,
it is like this person doesn't know what they're talking about. They're like, this is the problem. The people that are just okay with Sony and just like okay with everything they do, it's ridiculous. So I mean, you're in business, right? If you were in business, you would have known that was anti-consumer.
That's the thing, and that's what I was trying to say to you early on in this, is that, listen, whether you want to agree with us or not, that's irrelevant, right? You can have your opinion, and I agree with you on a certain aspect. As far as business goes, that's true, but Crap's point of anti-consumer is also very true. And I'm telling you right now, the way that the media is right now is, even though the media is definitely Sony fans, they're Sony fans. Yeah. It is killing them. It is like Greg Miller.
Yes.
I would have loved. He always films himself. He films himself.
I'm Greg Miller.
I'm Greg Miller, and I'm constipated. And he's always filming himself. So I'm like, I would have loved to watch him tweet that one tweet where he was like, I might have to go to Xbox. I'm picturing him. You guys know Michael from The Office. Remember The Office, that show?
Yeah.
When he's got his teeth grinding, he's just like looking. He must have been like that, like his teeth grinding. Look off to the side and hit like send. Like he did not want to send that out. That said he was going to go play Fortnite on Xbox. Which, by the way, he's not playing Fortnite on Xbox. Trust me. That was him just doing his media thing. It's where he's got to look like he loves everybody. That's what they do over there.
Herb did that video interview with them.
Right.
He kept on bringing up Fortnite, and then you just heard him bring up. He goes, "You're talking about Fortnite because of the cross progression stuff, right?" And he's like, and like he started laughing. Like Herb was taking some shots, man. I was like, zing zang.
Yeah, Larry Herb is climbed way up on the Mooch.
Yeah,
like respect level after that interview.
I
way
love
up.
that interview. Yes, he can white glove it all he wants. All he wants.
You Crap, you got to send me that. I didn't see that.
Oh, I sent it. Yeah, I have to find it again, man. I sent it to Mooch. I was like, you got to watch this whole thing. And Mooch was like, holy shit, that was a really good interview. Just Larry Herb was like zing zing zing. You could tell like Larry was just like pa 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 pa. He was like shooter, like everything. It was great. It was amazing. I was like, holy shit! Like they couldn't come back on him at all. He was just, they were asking something, he'd be like zing, and he even admitted, he goes, let's face it, Xbox is graded on a different scale than everybody else and everything else. He says it. He's like the media, everything, and he's right.
We've been saying that forever. We've been saying that forever. So now you heard Larry Herb say it, not just Mooch, not just Crap. And I mean, that's the truth of the matter. And like I said, listen, you Sony fans out there, all I'm saying is that's fine. And Millennial, who said he's like, I'm in business. I actually agree with you. I've said this plenty of times. I'm not going to renege. I know where Sony's coming from. But let's be honest. As far as gamers and social media and gaming media, you can't worry about your business. You have to look consumer friendly, even if it means you lose a couple bucks.
Hey, hold on. Let me ask this millennial person, which, by the way, millennial perfectly fits what you're talking about here. Let's just say this real quick. Was Microsoft's original plan for the Xbox, which was very business friendly for developers and for themselves, was that anti-consumer?
Yeah, probably. That person's going to say yes.
So that stuff was potentially anti-consumer.
That's
but
right.
none of the stuff Sony's doing is anti-consumer, because I just love the double standards, and I also love the hypocrisy of the whole thing. That's absolutely hypocrisy.
Well, another thing,
Hypocrisy
Mooch.
to the 10th degree.
What do you got,
Anybody
Bob?
that wants to look up that interview, it's a kind of funny games interview with Larry Herb at E3. Right?
You guys really should watch that. If you want to,
Yeah.
if you even don't like Larry Herb, this is one of those episodes where you're gonna like him afterwards.
Yes.
You know, Mooch, here's the thing when it comes to business, though. You reap the benefits of what you're doing now, but you always have to have an eye to the future. You always have to see where the industry's going.
100%.
You always have to be one step ahead. And we can still go to the same corporation when it comes to Sony, and you go back to the music, the movies, and everything like that. And
Right.
they didn't keep their eye towards the future, and it looks like something that they're doing now. And the thing about this is, if they're doing this now, if they're keeping a blind eye towards where the industry is going, PlayStation is where Sony keeps the lights on. PlayStation is where they make all their money. They don't make it anywhere else. So they need to adapt. They need to evolve if they want to be number one, even next generation, and going further than that. Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that,
Yes.
because like there's people who like the first thing they want to say about anti-consumer is like, oh, a free-to-play game is behind a paywall, blah blah blah. I've seen this shit in chat. If you guys think Sony is not gonna do that in the future, you're fucking kidding yourself. I believe, trust me on this. That when Xbox Live was like $50 and PlayStation was free, guess what happened? PlayStation started charging you for that shit. It's bound to happen, guys. So enjoy it for now. But one of the highest rated things on Amazon right now is PlayStation, the pass for PlayStation Network. So like you guys are paying for fucking online services anyway. So like this whole shit being stuck behind a paywall doesn't really affect most of us Xbox gamers, because we pay for live and you pay for PSN. So stop that shit.
Right.
It's just an arguing point.
Cop out. That's all. It's just another excuse to.
Hey, shout out Fuzzy Belvedere, because he actually went and liked that Major Nelson interview video, and I'm gonna put this in the Crossfire podcast chat so you guys can watch it. It's really, really good. It's damn good, man. You guys are gonna get a kick out of it, because he actually lays it all on the line, man, and that's something we don't see from business Major Nelson. You know what I mean?
Right,
like
yeah.
if that's, I mean, that shit's got to get old, just the constant pounding that you get from the media and the zingers and the one-liners and all that bullshit. So it's nice to see him stick up to himself and Xbox.
That was we haven't seen that in years, everybody. I mean, you're talking about 4 or 5 years since you've seen anything where they actually stuck up for themselves.
You know what was also funny was, it was so funny when Sony was trying to take the moral high ground at E3 2013 about here's how you share your games, feeding into the fear mongering. What people didn't realize was Sony had a thing called an online pass for their used games at that particular point that they very quietly didn't mention that. And they've also actually, they stopped it after that, obviously, because they had to. And they also go, plus we're charging you to play online now, right? And people cheered, so that tells you the huge difference. That shows you the huge difference between Sony and Microsoft right there. Sony can get away with whatever the hell they want, and Microsoft can't. So,
yeah, no, that there is that. Let's piggyback here. This is kind of something I want to talk about games here for a second, folks. Fallout 76. So, if any, here we go. Somebody wake up, crap. But realistically, I listen. And here's the thing: I'm kind of indifferent. I can't even argue with crap. I don't know if it's a snore situation or a rah situation. I'm going to, in this summer, I will play, and I plan to play through it, whether I like it or not. I'm going to play Fallout 4. Yes. And when I go through it, and that's awesome. Was that you, Dark?
No,
Dark,
that was me.
Was that you? Boom, boom.
Yes.
Tell me why I should play Fallout 4, and tell me why I should be excited. 'Cause I'm very excited. Listen, I'm very excited for Fallout 76. So, boom. What am I missing right now? What do I need to know?
Look. Here's the thing. Okay, I don't think that you can go into any Fallout game not being somewhat of a Fallout fan. The world is massive, and you will get lost. You thought The Witcher was bad when it came to how do I keep on the main story and forget about the 76 other things blipped up on the map, but you can go and do side quests and join this faction. Look, first of all, it looks phenomenal on the X. They've made so many advancements for it. It's in Game Pass if you don't already own it, which is fantastic. It's worth your time. But I'm going to speak for you for a second. I think the reason why you're remotely interested in Fallout 76 is because you're a social gamer. And the fact that you can go into Fallout 76 and play with your friends is what's going to be the difference maker for you.
It's living in that world, right?
Yes.
Let me do a shout out real quick to Stop Six Doc, who's a huge fan. Stop Six, thank you. He says, if they were smart, Sony would open up XPlay, crossplay. It would sell more consoles for them, especially if you could take your accounts with you.
Yes.
Stop Six, you're 110% right. And by the way, I noticed because Crap's been dipping into the Mooch fund, I'm getting less Stop Six socks to part. God damn it, Crap!
Hey, somebody has to jump in and take some of that money, man.
Support. But Stop Six, thanks for being here, buddy. We always love having you here. I appreciate it. But yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that ultimately, if Sony does accept crossplay, and I think that's what Microsoft's banking on here in the future. They're banking on the fact that if they're playing Kumbaya and they're lighting candles all over the world, guess what? People will come around, grab a wick, and light a candle. Why not? Right? It doesn't hurt. You light a candle, you play with Microsoft. Everyone seems to be coming around. Getting back to that, I do think that Fallout 4 is something I really, really want to enjoy. For some reason, I like that post-apocalyptic world. That's
fantastic. That's really.
How much does that cost you, by the way, Mooch?
Well, what the game? Well, first, here's this.
Here's the playing it on Game Pass.
I got screwed, Pred. I don't have it.
Did you play 3 though?
I didn't. No, me and Pred found out that we could. It was actually free on Xbox Live for a period of time. It was an oops. I downloaded it, and then that's it. I went to go play it, and it was like, you don't own this game. I'm like, but I do. That was a you problem.
I haven't tried it since then, actually.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work. So I
funny was Mooch told me this, right? Here's a Crap story. So Mooch tells me, he's like, yeah, Pred gave me a heads up, and so it was free. It was a mistake or whatever. I said, yeah, that happened before, and then they took it back. But I said, you know what? They're selling the digital code on Amazon right now for $10. I picked it up even though I don't even care about that game. I was like, you should probably pick it up too, just in case, because it's only $10 damn. Right. And he's like, yeah. And now, so he doesn't have it, and he has to play it through Game Pass or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to play it through Game Pass. And Sneaky Memo, thank you for reaching out. I know, Sneaky. Oh, Sneaky, get me one later on that's awesome. Because to be honest with you, this one, like Crap says, this thing is, I got Game Pass. I'm going to try it in Game Pass, see if I like it. But everyone's saying I'm going to like it because I like that whole era.
I really do. I really do.
Right.
I hate Fallout games, man.
Why? Crap, why?
You hate a lot of games, dude.
It's not that here's the thing, right? Like those games, that game's one of the like I tried Fallout 3. I tried to get into that game, and it's like scavenge for 3 bullets, and then you run into a whole horde of like super powered enemies or whatever. It's like
I put 380 hours into Fallout 3.
There's no real direction in those games. That's my problem. It's not very structured. I like more structure to the games. That's why when like everybody's like, we need more open world games, I'm like, no, we need less open world games. I just would rather have, more structured, more linear games. Like I don't like big open world games. I never finished those. They get.
Here's a
we
game
can have.
Go ahead, Goldblum.
We can have the open world games. We just need open world games with better side quests. Like we don't need all this fetch quest crap, Like we. I don't
even mess with. But
a lot of games force you to play the side quests in order to get through the game. So it's like make the side quest better, and then people will finish the game.
Like Assassin's Creed Origins.
I hated the side quest. Like I will do side quests as little as possible. I can remember what the hell game it was. It was a game recently. And me and Mooch were talking about it, and I was like, I don't know. I'm not even doing the side quests. I'm just doing the main stuff because I don't
find
really.
My cane, please.
Was it God? Yeah, it was God of War. I didn't do a single. I did not do a single side quest in that game.
You don't need to. You don't need to in that game, though.
There was not a single side quest that I did. It's like, can you find this for me? I was like, nope, I got stuff I got to do. Sorry, man.
Well, that's the thing. That's the beauty about God of War is that they don't force you to do it. There's a lot of games out there that do force you to play that side quest.
Yeah, you know what game forced me to do that shit? Assassin's Creed Origins.
Exactly.
Grind. I hated that shit. Like, I love that game, and I would have liked it much more if they didn't make me grind to beat
I gotta tell you, and I know this is an unpopular thing to say, I am not an Assassin's Creed fan at all. Man, wow. You can get rid of that franchise, and I'd wake up tomorrow and be like, refreshing. I'm sorry. It's just,
damn it.
I love the Origins. It was actually pretty good. It was better than some of the other ones.
It is a quest fetch.
Yeah,
Climb
and now
up
the
here.
new one is going to be a game as a service. I don't get how they're going to accomplish that, but yeah, that's a little bit weird, huh?
I have my skepticism of Odyssey. It doesn't feel like Assassin's Creed at all. So I'm like, I don't know, man. You know, it's just
They should be dropping this game every fucking year again. I think
that's the thing.
It shouldn't be.
They're doing that, right? But then there's no hidden blade. There's no real it doesn't feel like Assassin's Creed. There's really no sneaking around. It's more action based. It's like, what are they doing? You know, I don't understand.
Dark. Dude, I thought I was the only one who was thinking that about this Assassin's Creed.
I'll get it because I love Assassin's Creed, but
how is this Assassin's Creed? There's no hidden blade. There's no real definitive sneaking around and being an assassin.
There's actually no assassins in the game.
And what
I mean, that is weird.
Went back
that is weird. I'll grant you that. But I got to be honest, man. That God of War, that was weird for a God of War game. Right. So, and that ended up turning out okay. So I'm okay with them changing up some things in it. People always say, hey, it needs to be changed. And I'm not worried about it being the second year in a row we get an Assassin's Creed. For the main reason is the team that did Origins was the same team that did 4, and it took them like 4 years to do it. And the team that's doing Odyssey were the ones that did the other one 3 years ago. So it's not like they've just.
Here's the thing.
Like so you're saying the one who did Unity then?
Yeah, probably Unity.
God, dude, then it's gonna suck. It's gonna be terrible.
No, hold on. You have to be terrible. To be fair, right? Unity came out just when these new consoles did. And
don't give me that.
No, hold on. I bought Unity, right, and it was okay, but there was a lot of issues. And then 6 months later, I went back to it after they patched it, and it was amazing.
Yeah,
it was like
I'll agree with you. They did fix it, but you know what? The game
and it still had a better
fixed. Starting out, it should have been. I
agree, 100%. But that was the product of them doing the yearly stuff, right? And this was like now they've got different teams and they're able to take their time. I don't think we're going to get an Assassin's Creed next year. By the way, I just think that it just happens that this one's ready. What do you want them not to put it out, even though it's ready?
No,
like it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Let me just handle let me pay the bills real quick. Felt Pyromancer says I play the main quest in games. I don't have interest other than seeing the end credits. And you know what? That's how crap is. I myself personally, I have an OCD with games, and it's weird because it's kind of an oxymoron. I want to finish every side quest as I'm going through to enjoy and get all that the developer wants. But then sometimes, but here's my thing though, Goldblum, as I go through it and as I'm experiencing it and I'm enjoying it, sometimes it takes so long to do all the side quests and the main quest that I just don't finish because I'm like, come on, this is too long. And listen, Assassin's Creed, hop on this camel for an hour? Get out of here.
To be fair, you can fast travel in that game. Also,
I know, but you have to get the bird, you have to go over the eagle's nest, you have to like look at all the bad guy, right? It's just
that's what I do first. I go to all the towers in each region at least once.
I don't know. Like I like those games.
I like it in Far Cry, and I don't for some reason I don't like it in Assassin's Creed.
I saw this article the other day. Every single Assassin's Creed game ever made is like available on Xbox One now, right? Because they made Liberation, which was the PlayStation Vita exclusive, which got ported to the Xbox 360, is now backwards compatible as well. So every single one, think about that, man. That's what it's all about, man. Playing your games, I have that digitally, so now I have it on my Xbox One. That's so amazing that our games are no longer obsolete through generations. That's one thing that I got to give Microsoft credit for as well. They did a fantastic job with that. And those games are my bag. I like those games. Those games are much better. Like you feel about that game the way I feel about those terrible Souls games. Just fucking awful. You know what I mean?
What's wrong with Dark Souls?
What's wrong with Dark Souls?
Dude, we are about to get me
started. So here I am liking it. Most people like that game, those games, because they're tough.
Yeah,
right.
It's great.
Not only do they, and that's a stupid, ridiculous.
Yeah, but they don't have side quests.
Not only do they like those games because they're tough, but you can waste hours of you're talking about riding around on a camel, Mooch, and don't like it in that. How about spending hours collecting souls and then you lose all your shit and you gotta go do that all over again?
Crap, I gotta give a shout out to Millennial Maddie. She said the right thing. She goes, literally, follow this person for 30 minutes and then kill him. Who cares? Who cares? I gotta follow this person around and get through the crowd. It's just
like some of the earlier ones were like that, dude. I just talked about how Dark Souls is boring, man.
Dark
That's some of the
Souls?
most boring shit I've
Listen,
ever
now,
seen
crap.
in my
Now, wait,
life.
crap. There's two
Horrible.
words here. You're talking about boring or tedious. If you want to say
Both.
Dark Souls is tedious, it's not boring because the minute you're reborn, you're fighting again.
Exactly. You're not like
You're an undead and you're trying to
go
not be
back to your
dead.
souls anyways.
What
Like,
are you
can
doing? What are you
go find
doing
them.
for? Who are you trying to conquer? What?
Souls.
Souls. Whatever. You guys are so full of shit. You're like, you don't even know the story, man. Come on, man.
Oh, give me a
There's a
break.
story.
Don't turn
There's
into
a story
J.K.
there.
Rowling on me. Listen,
Story in that terrible
this
franchise.
guy's turning into Stephen King all of a sudden. Listen, I got news for you. There's no story in Assassin's Creed. They got some wacky like emperor. You're like, I gotta go kill the emperor.
No, there's actually the apple, the Eden apple, and all that kind of stuff. It's like got a very deep story and stuff like that. I actually rather.
I guess it's all right. Stop six came back with the other half. I appreciate it. Says I played that
Hey,
Assassin's
save
Creed
some of that for
E3. It
me.
was
Stop
blah.
6, man. M&C this Sunday. Don't forget.
Stop 6 is right though. He played Assassin's Creed at E3. It's blah. It's so blah.
It's not.
it's
It's
blah,
not.
it-
If you
it
don't
can
look,
be
if you don't,
fantastic,
yeah.
Mooch.
if you
That's
don't like those games, you're not going to like it. But at the same time, man, I think that there's a lot to offer there. They've actually they've made it. Used to be just action adventure, and now it's more. They've got a lot of RPG elements in it and stuff. So actually, I enjoy it. I think there's.
But that's the thing. They're forcing you to play the damn side quests, and that's wrong. You shouldn't have to play the side quests.
Yeah, I
in order
agree
to
with that.
finish
And
the
I said
game.
that earlier. I thought that kind of sucked, but hopefully they fixed that in this
I
next
wish
one.
they would stop doing that because bringing longevity to the game is fine and dandy, but that at the end of the day, like the storylines are usually like 20, 30 hours long. I mean, that's enough longevity for me, especially. I don't know about you guys.
Trust
but
me,
we all
man.
work, right? I mean, we all work. So
I've been on record as saying this, man. I like those. Detroit Become Human was probably one of my favorite games, and that was the perfect
fantastic game.
That was the perfect length of a game for me. I think I beat it in 8 hours, 10 hours, something like that. So that's really more my bag. When people are like complaining that the game's 15 hours, I'm like, thank God it's 15 hours. You know what I mean?
Is fine. I don't have a problem with 15 to 20 hours crap. I'm there with you. When people are like, oh, it's 80, 100, 150.
I won't buy a game when they say it's that many hours, man. I tell you what, man, The Witcher 3 probably the best game this generation, but I still haven't beat that game. Like you start playing it and it's like you get caught off in the
have to finish that though.
Yeah,
it's such a good game, man.
But those side quests are amazing in The Witcher 3.
They are.
Yeah, the
They're
problem is
they're
the side
best
quests
side
are
quests.
better than the main quest, and you actually get achievements for the side quest. That's
Yeah.
the ridiculous
You know
part.
the part that bothers me the most about The Witcher is that like you only use you have 65 potions and you use the same 3.
I used one potion in my playthrough, and Hellhammer he was like cracking up at that. He goes, "Man, you used one potion."
But
I was like, "They don't even
realistically-
tell you what the hell
but
they're
you're playing
for."
on easy, so it doesn't. You using a potion doesn't really matter. If you use it, if you're doing it
Man,
on
I
a
ain't
harder
got time.
difficulty,
I ain't got time to play that on hard.
yeah, but you gotta step up a little bit and get like maybe a normal mode, and then you'll. Be
I
able
played
to
normal mode
utilize
on a lot of things.
the-
Just for me, personally,
Who
I
on the
don't.
panel is beating Witcher 3.
I have.
I have.
Really? How many hours? Did you ever look at the hours? Put in? It's got to be
think it
over
was
300.
I think it was like.
Oh, I didn't do every side quest.
7 days or something like that. I have in The Witcher.
Man,
3.
I do not have time for
That's
that,
huge.
man.
Wow.
I just don't.
7
Even
days.
Mass Effect Andromeda, I beat that in like 22 hours. You know,
You do realize, Goldblum, that the Lord made Earth in that same time frame.
but that's the thing. I played that game so much. Like I've beaten it a couple times already. Like I just love that game. I mean, that game is just one of the best games of this generation. I mean, I would even consider it the best game probably of all time, dude.
it's just
Like, it's just-
extremely
it's
drawn
so
out
good.
at times, and it can get boring at times too.
dude, don't give me that.
Wait a minute.
just-
Wait,
I'm just
let's not
saying.
get Witcher fans aggravated.
They
Come
come
out
out
the woodwork.
It's because you know why you're playing it on easy, and you're just
I
like,
know
only
I'm
using
playing it
hold
on
on.
easy, but it does get boring at times. Not because of the combat or anything. It's just like it gets drawn out. You know, it's just like I don't know. It's not.
Well, here's
Not my
something that gets
bag.
everybody excited, right?
Bag, baby.
Crap, what do you think about that, right? It's not his bag, baby. But real quick, Crap, what do you think about this? New hardware next year, huh? Leak from a Call of Duty source says that next generation games will be played on this generation and next. I think it's
I
hogwash.
don't think we're getting new hardware next year. I don't.
That's not
you
how.
know, it wouldn't make sense. But I I wouldn't doubt that they're making games for the new hardware, or they can run on the new hardware.
Oh,
you know
absolutely,
what I mean?
crap. But I mean, there's no way 2019. I think we're looking at 2020 for these consoles.
The earliest move.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You know what? I think that, and it's going to be different because you're not going to need to get the new hardware. You know what I mean? So at least on the Xbox side, Sony's probably going to be like, no backwards compatibility. Who would want that? No forwards compatibility. Who would want that? Buy our new games. Buy this. Buy this. You know what I mean? Like, I can imagine Sony's going to probably pull that kind of bullshit. But Microsoft, I think that you're going to be able to take your controllers, your headsets. I mean, we spend $150 on this controller.
That's right.
We should be able to take it with us.
Do you think however waiting crap to make the Elite controller 2 until next generation?
Some of that stuff leaked out about that, and I got to tell you, it sounds fucking amazing to be able to control the tension on the sticks.
But what's the release date of it?
I don't know. We're probably going to get another some kind of thing from Microsoft this gen, right? Or this year, some kind of.
I think they're going to have their own show, dude. Yeah. I really do.
I would not be surprised. Yeah,
I don't think that show will be this year.
I've heard things from people, man. That's all I'm saying.
I know you've heard things, but I can't see. I mean, why wouldn't they promote it already? Why wouldn't they already say that they're going to have it?
I mean, Phil said that if things line up, they're working on doing something else. So I'm just saying, like, it makes sense to me. I would like to see that. I like whether that's their own thing or whether that's Gamescom or whether that's something a little bit later in the year. I think we're going to see something. I would hope so anyway.
I mean, I do hope there is something later on. But I mean, I would start promoting it now.
I love new tech. I love new tech, but
well, here's the thing, though, right? Like, we know Sony's going to go to Paris Games Week, right? But they haven't promoted that at all, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they haven't even announced PSX yet, but we know that's going to happen. Like, they've got time, man. They've got plenty of time.
Yeah,
no, I agree with you there. I agree with you, and I'm okay with waiting for some of the stuff. I think a lot of it is a Predator. You said it earlier this morning, Pred, when we were on Breakfast with Boom. You said I'm fine with not spending another $500. I mean. We just spent that money. I can't see wanting to get back into it again. That's just not something I want to do. I know a lot of people are just not. I love new hardware, new tech, but here's the thing: we're talking about next generation being 4K 60. Okay, yes, I know that's very broad. So take that with a grain of salt. But 4K 60 is really what we're ultimately trying to reach for next generation. So that being said, a lot of times on the X now crap, we're looking at possibly hitting 4K 60. I mean, Gears 5 is said to be doing 4K 60. So realistically, if games are going to start hitting 4K 30, 4K 60 consistently on the X, for me personally, I can wait till 2020 and make the box even stronger. I don't need it right now.
Yeah, it would be counterproductive to do it in 2019 since the X came out in 2017. So I don't see that happening. But what I do see is Microsoft heavily invested in the next console and probably already planning the mid-gen upgrade for that one as well. That's just going to be what they're going to do for now on, like, phones. I see them. They're going to continue to do that. I'm glad that they're going to continue to invest in that because that's something that a lot of people worried about that they would stop. And and I think Sony will probably do that as well, and that's smart because
absolutely
was that able to keep people off PC? Not the PC gamers, it never was because they prefer PC. Just like Microsoft putting games on Windows doesn't stop people from console from playing them because if you're a console gamer, you're gonna game on a console. Like them being on PC, that's irrelevant to me because I would never game on a PC.
No, I agree.
To me, it's all about just the console stuff. And not only that, but they were able to do stuff on a console for a price that you couldn't touch on a PC. So it's a win-win, and it's so simple. I don't got to mess with stuff. I don't got to pull parts out or install things or you know what I mean? It's just and I don't mean games. I know you got to install games, folks. But I mean parts and drivers and all that kind of shit. So I'm good with that.
No, and I totally agree. That's why we're console gamers. Pay the bills real quick. Shout out to Knox, who I ran the Destiny 2 raid with. He says never say an unkind word about The Witcher.
Hey, I said it was probably the best game this generation.
It is. I would say it's probably the best game this generation because I mean the time, effort, and money that went into that. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I've played. Okay, I've opened up a great bottle of wine. Played Witcher 3. Played part through one of the elaborate side missions. I remember getting done with one. I turned to my wife. I said, that's a side mission? That was 35 minutes. I mean, people
side
develop an entire
missions are
game around that.
I'm used to side missions of going to help people out that have bum legs, and they need your help,
Help
to go
me,
find
my
stuff.
leg.
That's why it's
My
so
leg.
good.
Fucking 4 quests
my-
later.
What's the
Still
hell game? I was
alive.
playing a game recently where somebody had a bum leg, and you had to do a side quest for.
Oh, what was
it
that
Nier?
crap?
That was
That's
Horizon
weird, isn't
Zero
it?
Dawn.
No, it was a different
Well,
game.
that was
Oh,
different.
Nier?
Yeah, it's a different game too. But
Oh,
yeah,
it was Nier.
like-
It was Nier.
yeah, it is
Automata.
Nier.
Right
Somebody
at
had a
the start.
bum leg. and
He's
you
like,
have
I
to
have
go
a
help
bum
him
leg.
out.
Could you get me some parts for my leg?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can you go beat up some robots and get some parts? And I was like, get your own damn parts. You know? Come on.
Hey, speaking of that, I want to get to a major subject, but real quick, we'll touch on it since we brought up Nier. So Nier Automata came out. Crap has it. I have it. A bunch of people on the panel
I
have it.
mooched it.
I mooched it as well. Thank you. Shout out to the glorious
Give me
people out
shit.
there.
Sneaky
Fred.
memo. Thanks.
Fred. Shout out to Fred right there who goes, nobody gave me shit.
That makes 2 of us, Fred. Don't worry, you're not the only one that didn't get a code.
So real quick though, what do you guys think about Nier? I mean, is this is a big deal?
I'm
think
liking it, man. Honestly, it's a big deal for it to be a Japanese title coming to the Xbox.
Yes.
This is perfect for especially around this time where it's summertime. There's really nothing coming out. It fits for
It was the perfect time for it, right,
And
Gold?
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
And it is so awesome, like to see these types of Japanese games coming to the Xbox, and it feels nice to play this game on the Xbox actually, because I did play the demo on PlayStation 4. I never picked it up on PS4, but I was just like, I'm interested in it, but you know what? I'm hoping it comes to the Xbox, and I was right. It came to the
Listen,
Xbox.
the game is great. I have it for PS4, Xbox One X, and I'll tell you right now, it plays better on the X. I'm not talking about the 4K stuff. I'm talking about the handling. It just
Frame rate,
plays
too.
better. The frame rate's much smoother. It feels better. That being said, my problem with Nier is twofold.
It sucks.
No, it doesn't suck.
Shut up.
It sucks.
You know what? And nobody said this. Nobody said this. So Mooch should be the first one. I've watched multiple reviews from big publications to fellow YouTubers, and to me, it feels like Recore. Right? It's got the
Yeah,
In a
I
way,
can, I
yeah,
can
it
see that
does.
as well.
right.
a
It's got
little
the
bit,
jump, and then you hit the RB and
You
you
are
dash in
getting
the air.
hate tweets right
It
now.
has something
sir.
that
Especially when you're
Recore
in the
doesn't
desert.
have.
I feel like
It's got a
I
little
feel
bit of
like it's a
Recore
lot-
to it, and I
feel like it's a
like
lot
it.
polished.
It's much more polished than Recore.
Yeah.
Much more polished, and it's a better game overall than Recore. But I'm saying the mechanics reminded me of Recore. And when you're in the desert scene with you're in the like, there's some areas of Nier that are so elaborately, artistically done, like so well done, and then there's a desert which is like Recore, nothing,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like it was almost like somebody was like, "Oh, I got the desert scene. I'm taking this week off, boss." Okay, so they picked up a peach crayon and filled it in, and then that was it. And it was like they were done with it. What do you guys think?
The one thing I think that's good about Nier, and you see Crash and all this, these games coming over here onto Xbox, is the timing of when they're dropping. And you got to know
Yes.
Xbox is thinking about this. So the points in time that you would usually have a gaming drought, and if you only have an Xbox, or even if you have multiple consoles and you want the game on the console that you play more multiplayer, you deal with the community more and stuff, they dropped them at the perfect time. All right, so now we got these games that are coming that were on the other platform dropping now,
The other platform.
the other platform.
Well, real quick, Xbox, let me just interrupt you real quick because it's going to disappear. Y9 Power, pay the bills. He says, do you think Sony pulled the PS5 in response to Xbox One X? I'm not sure what he means by that. I don't think that happened.
No, I think it was
But-
they plan these things out years in advance.
Yeah, they
all right?
can't just
Yeah,
go,
that's
hey,
right.
shit, they came out with that Xbox One X. We better announce our PS5. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
So,
no. So they were planning that out. So
Well,
Yeah.
that's why.
Xbox, let's get back to nostalgia real quick, crap. The Crash Bandicoot. I mean, if you guys, I went, listen, I didn't mooch that one. That one I
Gotta get
actually,
Spyro, man.
I paid
like
half. I mean, I got it for half price, but let's be honest. Okay.
I got
game-
I got it on both PS4 and Xbox One X. And
What do you like about it, crap? The awful mechanics, the reminder of 1998?
Well, no, I mean, dude, play the other,
Yeah.
play any other one but the first one. Jesus, dude, I keep telling you that. Like, the first one is bad.
I did play only the first one. That is
Yes,
true.
play the second and third one. They're much better.
All right,
And
fine.
then have a good time. They're fun platformers, and like I said, those are a game where you can really tell the difference between the PS4 Pro version and Xbox One X version.
It is beautiful.
It is. That 4K smokes on that X, man. I got to tell you, that's amazing. It's like a totally different game. It's like playing a Pixar game. You know, it's absolutely phenomenal. They did a great job with it. You just got to have fun with it. It's something that you can play for 10 minutes before you go to bed. That's what I like about it.
Well, Crap, what up in the chat says this is a whole new way of saying don't knock it till you try it. He says don't judge a book by its cover, Mooch. I'm not judging any book by any cover. I've played Crash and I've played Nier. So both of my opinions are off of playing the games. And I just think that with Crash, it's all about nostalgia, folks. I think we're all getting soaked up in the nostalgia.
Yeah, true. But so many people, that was so many people's lives for a long time. And we don't really have those great platformers anymore, right? Like we get them occasionally, but not like we used to. And so like that was like the fastest selling Switch game as well, like in the UK. So people obviously wanted it. I bet Activision probably wishes they would have had that on every platform to begin with, because I don't really think that having that game be exclusive for whatever it was, it really helped Sony in any way.
I think crazy thing though. Like all these games, like the reason why, at least with the rumors I heard, was they didn't think some of these games were going to sell very well on the Xbox because, we're not big Japanese fans. We're not fans of certain type of genres. And
that's what happens.
Selling well.
Yeah, they pigeonhole everybody on Xbox as not liking this or that. And even though I personally don't like a lot of this or that, I more than welcome those games on the platform because I know a lot of people do. And I know that what I eat don't make everybody shit and vice versa. So I'm very happy that these games seem to be doing well. Not only are they doing well, but they're the top paid games, some of the top paid games on the Xbox. So I think that's great. I think that
Nier, I want to give Nier.
People are going to buy Crash for the name, but then I have a feeling a lot of people went back into it. They played it for a little while and they're like, screw this. And now it's in the library and it's just sitting there.
Has anybody on the panel beaten Nier Automata yet?
No, I haven't.
No.
Here's the thing. So, and this is a few people have told me this. I watched Rand's review. They say you have to beat the game 3 times full through to get the full story. Listen, that's where you lose me. So you're telling me I'm going to play this game? Go ahead.
But it's only like 20 hours or something like that to beat all 3. If you go through the whole story, like
each playthrough is about 8 hours.
Yeah, it's about 8 hours each. Yeah, unless you're gonna do side quests, but I mean,
nobody's gonna do side quests. Come on,
you can pop it on easy and just blow right through it. Like I'm playing it on normal, and I'm playing through the side quests just because I'm bored and there's nothing else to play. So
there's nothing else to play.
There's nothing else to play.
There's no games.
There's nothing else to play. Holy shit!
Yeah,
I've got such a backlog right now. It's embarrassing. I can't even tell you.
I think that Nier game
for me
is pretty good. It's not as good as like a lot of people are trying. I think it's good. It's pretty good.
The first one was trash. I'm not even trying the second one.
I think it's pretty good. I just think that it's it's different. It's an acquired taste for sure. So
I agree with Don.
Beating the game 3 times though is kind of weird.
That's ridiculous.
Like just give us the ending in one.
Let's call it a show here, folks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I'll be honest, like I beat what was that, The Force Unleashed or whatever. You guys remember that? It had a dark side and a light side ending, right? I only did the one side. I'm not gonna go back and play the set. You know what I mean? Like that was one of the things that I guess was kind of cool about Detroit.
You did the dark side, didn't you?
No, I don't do dark side stuff. But
I like being the hero, man.
Yeah, me too. So when I did Detroit, right? Like I went back and then just did the branching parts that changed the story. Because I guess that was kind of cool. It's like the Telltale games or whatever.
Did that really change the story though?
You completely changed the damn story.
Yeah,
I got a story in mind that people that I talked to about the game got completely different stories, right?
Which one's this, Crap?
Detroit.
Crap's gonna hate me for this. I still haven't finished it. No, I haven't. I'm close.
Dude, it's really not that long. It's really not.
Realistically, 8 hours, man.
The problem with it, I'm probably I'm probably 7 hours in. I gotta be honest with you. It's so hard to press. Just like, do you want to talk to Jimmy? Press X. Do you want to talk to Jane? Press circle. I don't want to do that for more than an hour. You lose me. Like, I could be playing Destiny. No, listen, here's my thing.
Jeez,
let's get down to it. Hold on. Crap, let's talk about this. This is really interesting, guys. So Amy Hennig, we talked about it this morning on Breakfast with Boom. Amy Hennig has left EA to open up her own independent company. Now, here's the thing. That sounds lovely, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
On paper.
It does on paper, not in real life, folks. She has been canned from Naughty Dog. Now she's leaving EA for unknown reasons. She's been taken off the Star Wars game. That's a never was. And now she's going to go open an independent studio. Is this something where she's kind of got Cliffy B syndrome, where she's kind of past her prime? Maybe this is her problem. Like, what's going on with her? So. Like, she's a talented woman, but how come she's not able to land the job and finish?
Well, if you look at, she had disagreements with the people at Naughty Dog.
Right.
It was like,
that's fine.
She was the one that made Naughty Dog.
I'll take her
Naughty Dog 2 and stuff. So
yeah, I'll take her side on that.
Yeah, so that was a disagreement, and she wasn't the only one that got let go. Like a whole shit ton of people got let go.
Absolutely.
And then she was with doing the EA stuff, and that looked promising. But then EA wanted a bunch of loot boxes and loot crates and shit like that. So
she had too many Unity candles lit in her office.
Yeah. So then she got let go from that side or whatever, and now she's doing her own thing. So.
Yeah, I don't agree with you at all, Crap. I think realistically what the problem here is, I think maybe she's probably that's two major companies that have showed her the exit sign with a security guard. I think at this point, I think maybe it's her problem. I don't think she's doing that good of a job. And I think that you have EA and Naughty Dog.
Convoluted the story was on Uncharted 4. Let's bring a brother out of nowhere when we've actually
already covered that.
We've actually covered the fact that he's a single child, that he's an only child, right?
And the only thing that sucks about that is that they had to keep the damn brother in the game because they already had it already set up for it. So
look, I'll agree with you guys that they pulled the brother out of nowhere, but my thing about it is this: that game did very well. I enjoyed Uncharted 4 thoroughly.
I did too, but it definitely wasn't the best one by any means.
Hey, Mooch,
it's not the best one, but it's the second best one. Go ahead.
Can I drop some KTR knowledge on you? All right. We talked about this last week, and the Don chimed in, and in talking about, people developing games. He said that, Amy looked like she was really good at developing a story, right? When she went over to EA, you work with Star Wars. You already have a story there. You already have the universe. You can't be as creative and stuff like that. Don basically put out that maybe she just really wasn't the right fit for that, and she has to create her own narrative and build her own game.
For sure, yes.
And that could be the disagreements right then and there. She might have wanted to do something a little more creative when it came to the Star Wars game. Ooh. That wasn't swinging. It just started building up from there. And then she said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm making my own studio. See you guys later. And that could have been it.
Mooch, to kind of defend her a bit, you got to remember she was attached to the Visceral Studios. EA closed them down.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I mean, yes. Again, you know what the old saying is: where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So we're putting our detective hats here, and you're saying, okay, she had a disagreement with the guys at Naughty Dog. She was there for Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. She did a fantastic job.
She's brilliant at what she does. Let me just say that she is brilliant.
She's more of a writer. Right, like
it just seems like it seems like when there was something that went wrong between Neil Druckmann and her.
Yes,
as far as Uncharted 4, right?
And we'll never know.
And we don't know. We don't need to elaborate. If we don't know, I don't want to elaborate. But there was a problem there. Right. So then you say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and say that that's not it's a non-issue. She goes to EA. She gets a lot of money. She gets the Star Wars title. Move forward on this, and then all of a sudden, bubkiss, right? Now we're talking about we're going to go, and now she leaves, and she's like, I'm going independent. Now she's going to make Slime Rancher 3. Like, I mean, I don't.
She's making a VR game.
I know. Shout out to Adam Sharp in the chat. He says she's going VR. But you know what that is?
Good for her.
That's like a death sentence. That's it, guys. I'm leaving. I'm not doing any more podcasts. Mooch is going to VR games. Be like, see you later, dude. You're out.
Not really, man. Right? Maybe like finally he's got something compelling to talk about.
Finally, podcast. Like when you hear these big time developers, and they say they're gonna go and do their own thing.
Yeah,
we don't hear from these motherfuckers anymore. So
you don't.
Cliffy B, Taka. Whatever the guy's name.
That's why I said she's got Cliffy B syndrome, Fred.
Yeah, they think they're bigger than what they really are.
That's what I'm saying. I think this is a case of, don't you know who I am? And we're like, yeah, you were a great 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So like that, and that's the problem. And listen, I asked Don the dev. Don. I said, Don, would you agree with me that developers are a lot like musicians, where sometimes you have a one-hit wonder and then it's hard to recreate that success? He goes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's the hardest part about it, because you're an artist as a developer. You're an artist. And sometimes you can't recreate the gold. You can't recreate the gold record. You just can't.
You especially can't recreate it without the budget.
But that too, that's true, Max. I agree.
I was going to say, when it comes to Amy, the Don actually said, he was like, you know what I really want from her? And when he said this, I looked at it kind of weird. He was like, yo, she should go freelance as a writer.
Yeah.
And just get picked up by, different dev teams and stuff like that. And I asked him if that was a demotion in terms of like the development industry. You don't have your own team under you. He's like, well, not necessarily. He's like, you don't really look at that when it comes to game development. He's like, people come and go onto teams and do what they're kind of like contracted to do, and then they're gone. So he actually wants her to be more freelance and get her stories out there.
I like that.
On a broader base.
Don says his ears are burning.
There he is. That's great.
He also said earlier that Crash is better than Sonic. So.
I disagree with that.
No.
No, he
Sonic
said Crash is a better Sonic.
Now, Crap, how could you disagree? All the majority of the PlayStation fans that are in the chat agreed with me. So I said it went Uncharted 2, Uncharted 4, Uncharted 1, Uncharted 3. You wouldn't agree with that? 2, 4, 1, 3?
No,
I wouldn't agree with that.
I would go 2, 3, 4, Lost Legacy, and then 1.
Leave Lost Legacy. Lost Legacy.
You can't put Lost Legacy.
Mooch and Crap take on Uncharted. Get out of here.
Here's the thing. I didn't like Lost Legacy at first when I played it, but then
I liked the first one.
But then, the first one was horrible. It just
that's the mechanics that were horrible, but the game was good.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was very generic.
2, 1, 4, and then 3.
Wait, say it again, Goldblum.
2, 1, 4, and then 3.
All right, we didn't really have that
First,
much.
like for me, I like those stories. Like again, here's the thing: I love Uncharted. It's one of my favorite PlayStation franchises. But you can't get too caught out. Like the continuity is just terrible. Like we found this tomb for the first time in 1,000 years, but there's bad guys down there with guns. You know what I mean? Like let's just forget that Drake is murdering these people, like getting away with it every time. You know
it's a video game, Crap.
I get that, but there's like a lot of issues with those. Like, here's his brother.
He's killed thousands.
Yeah, here's his brother randomly out of nowhere, even though we've established in the other games that he's an only child. Like that's the kind of stuff.
I like how they gave his brother a 5-head, but at the same time, right? But at the same time, Nathan Drake has the best. He's got the best head of hair in gaming.
Yeah,
poor bastard.
That reminds me of this.
I'll tell you that.
There was this producer on a radio show who got the nickname 5-Head, so that's why.
I'm like, well, this guy got the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
Holy.
Well, he's broke. He's not married, and he has a 5-head. Not good.
Broke. He doesn't even have. They think Drake has like 8 girlfriends. This guy's broke, has no girlfriend. That's great. Crap, you'll like this. You've made a couple of videos on it. It's been big. PubG, folks.
8 million.
8 million. Crap. No, listen, there's still people in the chat. You're going to get a lot of shit right now. People are saying it says 8 million players. I've read 2 articles now where it says 8 million sold.
It's 8 million sold.
Yeah. That's what it is.
It's 8 million sold according to the press release. Here's the thing. We all know there's only 6 million Xbox One sold, so that's amazing.
Angel lost his wings. Yeah.
Well, you got to factor in PC as well, probably.
No, those don't count PC at all.
No, it says Xbox.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It counts Xbox.
There's no crossplay. There's no anything. So
that people who bought it.
Yeah, so you notice people downplay this, right? Nobody's talking about it. It's weird because this game has sold more than God of War. This game has sold more than Horizon Zero Dawn. This game has sold more than almost any PlayStation.
And it's in game preview.
Hey, T Speedy, it is 8 million sold. Go check the Xbox Wire report. It's 8 million sold.
It's sold, not played.
Yes, it's not players. It's 8 million units sold.
Grief. Well, G-Man saying GameSpot says play. Listen, G-Man, that's just a little bit. That's part of that That media splash of darling.
That was a typo. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've seen 2 or 3 different publications now saying sold.
It's incredible. It's an incredible number, to be honest with you. So
it is. It really is. It really is. And that listen, guys, listen. Anybody in the chat that doesn't want to believe the 8 million, that's fine. Let's play your game. Let's say 5 million. That's the only battle royale game on the market that's being sold for a cost of profit. Okay, and being played in that kind of record number. You have H1Z1 with 10 million, free. Fortnite, 125 million, free. And I know they're making money on the backside, but so's PUBG. And the point of the matter is PUBG's charging. So you've got 8 million people playing this game paid for.
Look how salty the PlayStation fans get. They're like, Horizon Zero Dawn, 8.4 million. You don't think that PUBG is gonna pass that shit? Give me a break, man. If this has been 7 months, not even.
Right. And it's a game review.
Not only that, but shouldn't a console that has 80 million compared to 10 million or 6 million, whatever the hell you ponies claim the Xbox has, shouldn't it sell more than that? It should. But the fact of the matter is, Xbox has been managing, having hit after hit after hit. You can talk millions of, so now we know 8 million on PUBG, even though Xbox has no games. We know over 3 million players on Sea of Thieves, even though Xbox has no games. We know over 3-4 million on State of Decay 2, even though Xbox has no games. We know that there was over 1 million on Cuphead. There million after million after million after million here. Can we stop pretending like Xbox isn't successful or people aren't buying Xbox games? Get out of here with that shit. It is doing phenomenally well.
They think single digit like millions is no joke. They're like, oh, it's just that's nothing, and that's not the case. Like that's a lot of people. You got to think about it. That's worldwide. That's a lot of people. Because there are a lot of countries that don't have consoles and stuff like that, and for PUBG to sell this well on Xbox is fantastic, man. I don't personally play the game as much as I probably should or like to, but I definitely think that game is.
Well, you know what it is? Listen,
the funny thing is this, right? Instead of I would have much more respect for PlayStation people if they would just go, hell, that's a good number, congrats.
Yeah, I know, right?
Instead of that, it's only $30. It's only this. It's only that.
Yeah.
Well, PlayStation they deflect
it's
everything.
Not done. It's
like Jesus Christ, look, I'm an Xbox dude, admitted fanboy, but I said that God of War was probably the best exclusive single player game this generation, and Detroit had the better story than that. So I can sit there and go, props, congratulations to that. So if I'm this hardcore Xbox fanboy and I can do that, what is wrong with these PlayStation dudes that they're so far up Sony's ass that they can't even go, hey, that's awesome. It was a smart move by Microsoft to do that. Congrats.
It is true.
Can they not say that?
Yeah.
Pony vision.
It is absolutely ridiculous how some of these people act. And it is absolutely ridiculous. It gives everybody a bad name. It is horrible. It's bad. It's bad.
It's called Charlie Sheen winning.
My quote of the chat tonight so far is Crap Gamer could be a great villain in the MCU.
I'm not even a villain.
I could see that.
Well, you know what's funny? So Phase 23, to be honest with you, I agree with him. Like PUBG, I played just the other day again. I went back to and revisited it.
Which we're getting a map selection here soon as well.
Right.
Oh, yes. Thank God.
Yeah. But I will say this much. Like, it's not optimized. It's not this and that. Pred was just saying it. But here's the thing, though. That actually all adds to how brilliant this is. To sell 8 million copies of it, and it doesn't work that great, and it's in preview, that's kind of crazy, right? I mean, that is crazy. I will say this much. I think PUBG, the reason, and Max, was it you just said it? It was Max or Goldblum just said that they revisited it a couple days ago. The reason I haven't gone back to it religiously is it's after playing Fortnite so much with the family, PUBG is a little bit, it's slower, it's more tactical.
Right.
And I get that. There's no critique there. But I do like the speed and the quickness of in and out of a game. In and out of a game that's Fortnite does, where it doesn't do that. Now, I have yet to play, and shame on me, I've downloaded it, but I haven't played, right, thank you, Crab. H1Z1, I haven't played yet. Has anybody played it yet?
It's okay. It's not as good, even though it's 60. It's not as good. I mean, it just could be that it's on PlayStation, And
so wait, but Crap, is it PUBG-ish?
Yeah, it's pretty much PUBG.
It is PUBG-ish, but attention to details will make a game go longer, right?
So what are you saying, Xbot?
With H1Z1, you cannot climb over walls or climb on top of things where you can in PUBG, and you might think that's a small thing until you play the game, and then you're running for your life. You got the wall closing in on you. There's
you can't hop a wall.
You can't hop a wall. You got to run around it.
Yeah, that's a problem.
You see what I'm saying? It sounds really small, but until you actually play the game, then you're like, oh man, this just feels out of place. You know? And I mean, they did a good job. They did a good job graphically. They did a good job in terms of it's faster rounds. It doesn't take as long as PUBG. It does feel PUBG-ish, but those little details mean a lot. And that's what gets me to kind of like turn away from playing that. And I play more PUBG definitely than H1.
H1 feels like a early version of PUBG.
Okay,
that's what it feels like. Like
not only that, but the fact that it's called H1Z1 that's tied to the zombie stuff is probably gonna like turn some people off. Like, you play that H1Z1? No, man, I'm not into the zombie stuff, but they don't realize that it's just a PUBG clone or whatever. So
yeah. Because I was gonna say, is there even zombies in there, like at all in that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, not in the PUBG mode. No. It's H1Z1 Battle Royale, right? Isn't that what it's called or something like that?
I think PUBG needs to do this, and I think all you guys will agree with me. And Pred, I know we put about 50 hours into that together. To be honest with you, PUBG needs to. They got to get their shit together. Still, they've got to make that game now. I understand it's a game preview, but it's been a game preview since December. It's actually been a game preview for PC even further back than that. They got to fix what they got, and it's got to be 60 frames. That game's got to be 60 frames. Why is it not 60 on the X? I don't know. I just don't get it. Like, Microsoft's putting money into this, guys. Shouldn't
they
it be
said
a little
something
bit better?
about redoing some of the code or something like that?
Well,
yeah, I think they're redoing the code.
They're redoing some of the code or something like that. Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
I mean,
quick, shout out to Mel. Let me just say what's up to Mel. Mel, it's always good to have you. Mel, by the way, Mel is one of the original Mooch maniacs, so God bless Mel. Appreciate
flat
it.
Earth. Oh,
I know he's crap. Xbox, Dark on his friend, everyone. Flat Earth, great. Oh, it's round, Mel.
All I gotta say
it's round.
is question everything. That's all I gotta say.
Great.
Well, you can question everything, but you can also go get yourself a $25 telescope and look at the round, different planets and stuff. We're no different.
That's very true.
I mean, I've watched, you Bot and Mel stream that damn H1Z1. Yeah, and Bot, you look bored as fuck, and Mel looks like she's having a blast, dude. I'm just like sitting there, like, what is going on? Like usually, like you guys usually have
PUBG, man. I gotta say, when it comes down to it, battle royales, you guys know me. I'll get the game that's in game preview, but I won't play it that much because I know it's not done yet. I'll go in every once in a while and I'll play the game. But when it comes to PUBG, week after week, it is Destiny 2 and PUBG. Those are my mainstays, the main games that I play throughout the week. And I'm not even getting achievements or anything like that for PUBG yet. PUBG, in my opinion, is the battle royale game. I like it better than Fortnite. Yes, I said it. Waiting for the chat to blow up on me. And I definitely like it better than H1Z1.
Yeah, PUBG's good, man. I like it. I think it's a fun game. Good. I think that it needs to be optimized a little bit better. I think it would be if it was just on the X. You know what I mean? Not having to be on the base Xbox One and Xbox.
This may be the best super chat I've ever seen. So Z Black Rider writes, "Hi Mel."
Yeah, well, I mean, there you go. Oh, by the way, you guys can check out the International Space Station does a live feed 24/7 of Earth.
But do they though?
Yeah, they do.
But are you sure?
100% they do.
The flat Earth or the round Earth?
Yeah, like, well, where is all the space debris and satellites and stuff like that? I just want.
You actually do see that sometimes it comes across the feed.
Sometimes. Do you know how much is supposed to be up there though?
So the Earth is flat and everything else, because we can see the moon and that's round, and we can see the other planets through telescopes. That's no tomfoolery, and we're just flat. Like,
guys, we're not even charging for this extra.
Yeah, I know.
Real quick, let's get to one of our.
I'm of the belief there's nobody actually thinks that. People just say that to get, because they want attention in the world or whatever. Like, I get it,
Yeah, they need that attention.
It is. It kind of is what it is. But it's like that's like the most ridiculous thing ever.
Yeah.
Crap says it all the time. I'm going to use one of Crap's lines. Guys, hit that like button. We had almost 500 people in here.
I know,
hit that like button for crying out loud. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Crap's been up my, you know what, to actually get some content out. Whether it be the end of July or middle of August, Mooch will start having more videos out.
Quickly becoming the hellhammer of content.
Reviews,
Yes, I have been saying that, right, folks? Yes, this is very true. I'm only a podcaster. I will be doing some videos soon, so subscribe to the channel, guys. But listen, Crap, you did a video on this, and I read about it earlier in the week. Microsoft went ahead and filed a patent for allowing, try and catch cheaters and hackers by teaching the AI how the game is supposed to be played and how you're supposed to get achievements, etc. And you did a video on it today. I thought it was very interesting. What do you think about this? Is this something that's going to stop people in the future from trying to hack and cheat? Or
I hope so. It's supposed to be able to pick up irregularities because it's hard for people to actually be able to do that, right? To kind of go in there and be able to tell who's like cheating and things like that because there's so many different millions and millions of players. So it's difficult. So now that this is going to be able to kind of pick up irregularities from people like cheating and do it. That's why the achievements don't work offline anymore because people used to be able to hack them.
And I'm glad they did that crap.
Yeah, and so I am too, and so now it's going to make it much easier to find people that cheat and ban them and stuff like that. So I'm actually pretty stoked about that. Hopefully this helps with, because they're going to push that crossplay and all that kind of bullshit. And so I'm hoping that it actually, picks up and actually, does what it's supposed to do, prevents people from cheating on the platform that we pay money to play online on,
Oh God, yeah. I hope so, man. Mooch, remember at the launch of the Xbox One, they talked about the reputation system and how it was going to help put the same type of gamers into the same game and all that good stuff. Yes. And none of that happened. Let's be real.
I know.
None of that happened. I deal with trolls like every day. So when they put out the patent, I hope it's something that actually does work. They really got to focus in on this if they're going to go ahead with this, cross play with the PC and play anywhere. When it comes down to cheaters, if cheaters are found out on the PC, if they have a way to read for aimbots and stuff like that, then I'm all for it. But I got to be skeptical at this point in time because, their reputation when it comes to this is not great, man.
No, I agree. Let me pay the bills real quick. Brandon Lewis says, I'm a PlayStation gamer and Xbox gamer. So credit where credit's due. Crap, this is for you, by the way. Congrats to Xbox on the PubG sales. Also, I was pleased with Xbox's E3. Look forward to Gears 5. Brandon, thank you. That's all we've been asking for, right, Crap? Is that a little recognition?
Dude, somebody get a screenshot.
It is difficult. It is difficult when Xbox literally gets like no recognition for anything.
None, really.
Nothing. Like nothing they ever do is good enough. Like they totally ended the resolution debate, the power debate, where to play. We literally had arguments about fucking grass this generation. That's how ridiculous. And we have none of that anymore, right? Like it's so funny how all this stuff it is like, it's gotten down to the only thing left is exclusives, which Microsoft had that for the first few years of the generation, and then it wasn't about exclusives; it was about who played the third parties the best, right? And now Microsoft bought these studios and have these new studios up and running, and very quietly, like you guys are losing that argument too. Like it's going to be pretty equal in my opinion. Microsoft has some amazing studios now.
Well, no, they're not losing that argument because now they can play the games on PC.
Yeah, because every PlayStation gamer has a $4,000 PC that plays every game better, but they play their multiplats on the PlayStation.
But it's on PC, so it's not an exclusive. Yeah. Well, some of your games are on PC and they're not exclusive.
Dude, exactly. I mean, come on, dude. What was it? Nier was on PC, but that ended up in everybody's damn list for the longest damn time. So
did Ni no Kuni too.
Yeah, so I mean, so does everything, and Sony's gonna. If you don't think Sony's gonna branch out their PlayStation Now and maybe do downloads even on PC eventually, they're gonna do that. It's a source of revenue, and that's the future, folks. They're gonna do it. It's gonna happen. So you guys might as well get that. It's on PC. It's not exclusive. That attitude just out of there. You can call it a console exclusive. It doesn't matter.
PC is not competitive with console gaming anyway. So you can see
it's two consumers, and Xbox. I'm glad you said that. Like I have my friends that play on PC. They're religious to PC. Xbox. Mm-hmm. They do not have any interest in console. And us console gamers, for the most part, and don't get me wrong, there's Pred. Pred, you have a PC. Pred dabbles. And listen, Crap dabbles. I dabble. I don't dabble. I'm going to build a PC eventually because I want to make more videos. But like when you're building a PC, you build it so it can also play some games. And the thing about it is I want to come home. I want to put the CD into the goddamn console, play it, enjoy it, relax.
Just be done with it.
Yeah,
you don't want drivers. You don't want updates and all this other stuff.
Boom, are we confusing two different consumer bases here?
Absolutely. Let me just say this. When you bring first of all, it's very rare that any of us are really bringing discs home these days. It's usually we're just downloading it from Xbox Live, or it's preloaded, where it downloads automatically for you, and at midnight you're playing your game. There's no searching for updates or searching for, the driver didn't start, or the game starts and it freezes 5 minutes.
All the troubleshooting is on you on PC,
right.
where the console is just put the game in or start the game.
It's plug and play.
Yeah.
And that right there is the fundamental difference. And, when it comes down to the PC, people invest all sorts of money on parts and stuff like that. We don't do that over here. We expect the company to put out the best product, and we play the games, and hopefully the devs, build off of that closed system or whatnot. PC is totally different in terms of the consumer base in comparison to console. And they're not even competitive. So I don't know why people they're always like, they compare, well, it's on PC or this and that. And it's like, well, there are mobile games that are on PC as well too, but they sell like crazy on mobile as well.
They do that because all the console exclusives are supposed to be console exclusives for Xbox are going to PC, and that's why they do that. That's their argument for everything, is like, oh, well, it's on PC, so I can play it on PC, but you're not gonna play it on PC because of the fact that you don't have a PC rig to even
exactly. Most people out there who lightly dabble or might play a game on PC, they cannot play the game in comparison like to the Xbox One X. You're not going to get the same type of graphics, anything like that. So yeah, you can play it if you want to play a dumbed down experience. Go ahead.
That's what kills me about a lot of the PC gamers. Like, I'm building a PC, and when I build it, I want to actually have something that's able to play the games at what they can handle on ultra settings. But the thing is, if you're not going to build a PC that does something to that level, just buy an X.
Yeah.
Like, just buy an X.
Yeah.
I have a nice. I spent about. I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna.
Go ahead. Come on. Let's hear it.
$2,000 on my, right?
Dang.
That was also what did you say? All I heard, was $1,000.
$2,000.
$2,000.
$2,000.
Right?
$2,000. That's good. Yeah.
And that's not even including the monitor and the keyboard. That's just the PC itself. So, and I love it. It works. It does what I asked it to do. I'm happy with what I bought. I was happy with my purchase. I knew what I was getting into, and I bought this motherfucker. But having said that, I still play on my Xbox. And like PubG, I buy a lot of the preview games on PC because they're gonna be on PC first. And I don't know if like Hunt Showdown. I love that game. Right.
Oh, man,
I don't know when it's coming out or if it's coming out on PC on consoles, but I love that game. It's a really good game. I play it religiously, but there are cheaters on the game, and I hate that part of it. And that's what makes me, with PubG, that's what makes me kind of go over to the Xbox side, because I can get it on Xbox. It's a nice to have, but for me personally, I like having that closed box and not have to deal with that shit.
Right.
I like being able to get on with you guys when you guys are playing something and play a game with you guys, because you guys aren't on PC. So like,
it's also hard to get like.
What's that, Dark?
It's also hard to get like some your friends together to play on PC.
Oh,
too,
definitely. Like, I found some people on a couple of games I like playing with, and they're never on the same time. I can't send them. I could do it through Steam if I really thought about it. But I talk to you guys either through Xbox or through Twitter or just like throughout the week. We have some kind of conversation or something going on. These PC guys, it's almost like going back to the early days of the Xbox Live, where you play with the guy and you add him as a friend and you hope he's online when you hop online. Like, I don't know when these people are coming on and when they're not coming on. So it's like, I never know who I'm going to play with.
There's no true community
There isn't. It doesn't really seem like, unless you forge it yourself and kind of keep up with it. But like with the community I built with the Xbox side, it's been there for years. Yep. I've got people I've gamed with for over 15 years.
I'm getting messages. And don't get me wrong, it's a little bit different when you're doing the podcasting and such. I get a lot of messages, but when I turn my Xbox on, honest to God, it's like you step into a mall with a bunch of people you know. Like it doesn't mean they're all going to stop and talk to you, but everyone knows, and it's like Cheers, man. Connected. It's the bar where everybody feels like they know your name, and you hang out. Everybody kind of made their friends. Let me just pay the bills real quick. Mac Diesel says PUBG's the bee's knees, and Xbox is the best box on my mama. That's great. Thank you about that. Shout out, mama. Shout out to the panel. You guys are the best. And then I've also got another guy here, my buddy Algorithm Arcade, who says, with Shenmue 1 and 2 about to release on Xbox, does that mean that 3 isn't an exclusive for PS4? No, I mean
it's going to eventually come to Xbox.
It'll come to Xbox.
I've heard a rumor.
When it eventually PC and PS4 first, right? So I mean, it probably will come to Xbox because I mean, a lot of these games, as you can see, if they don't say PlayStation exclusive on it or they don't say only on PlayStation console, then they're definitely probably coming to Xbox.
Yeah,
I heard a rumor almost like over a year ago that it was coming to Xbox. It's a rumor. Like I don't really put a lot of weight to those, but like the fact that we're discussing. You know, like
there's nothing saying that game's going to be a PlayStation exclusive. So
no, not at all.
I would assume that probably within a year it'll probably be on Xbox as well. So
no, I totally agree. And we are creeping up on the 2-hour mark. I don't know if Crap already said this.
I literally just did. So yeah,
God damn it.
Yeah,
I tried to beat him to it. There it is, Austin. That's great. Guys, listen, what a great episode tonight was. I got to be honest. One of the best. Considering it is, listen, guys, it's a slower news week, but we had things to talk about, raw emotions from the chat, the panel, an amazing panel, by the way. Guys, thank you for all stepping up and letting everything out. Your true colors came out tonight. It was awesome. Let's go through our lineup of outros because we know we have the longest outros in that podcast history. So I'll go in reverse here. Let me start with Dark Goldblum. Goldblum. Listen, buddy, you do your podcast. You have your own podcast. Here's my thing. Love to have you on. You're always well-spoken. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, Dark Anonymous. You can also find me on Xbox Live, the same name. You guys can check me out tomorrow on the next podcast.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
At 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, where we're going to go in on some shit tomorrow. So,
oh, yeah, you saw the topics, right?
Yeah, I saw that, dude. I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to be
We're going deep tomorrow, man.
We're going ham, dude. I'm loving it. And then you guys can also check me out on TSGP. That is the Saltiest Gaming Podcast every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And I'm always happy to be on CrossFire with you, Mooch, and everybody on this panel, man. It's always a blast. So thanks for having me, man.
Appreciate it, Goldblum. Thank you. And so shout out to Salty, too. Great show on Thursday night. Salty's a great guy. Pred, you came in late, but you definitely spoke your piece. Pred, always good to hang out with you.
Wrecking ball.
Oh!
I'm sorry.
Pred, where can people find you, brother?
Next podcast on Saturdays and pretty much in everyone else's chat and everybody else's podcast throughout the week. Predator SUOS on Xbox Live, on PlayStation, on YouTube, and on Twitter. So hit me up and follow my channel. Follow me on YouTube or in any other place you guys want to follow me. I'm there in the dark watching.
Appreciate it, Brad. That was great.
That's so creepy.
It was so creepy, but it was done so well. Max Power, Max, yo, thank you so much for being here. Max, we got to have you on again and all of your ferrets and birds. I want to make sure that everybody listen. I try to promote Max as much as possible because I'm jealous that he lives in great weather all year.
It's nice and sunny here now. It's actually quite hot.
Max, are you kidding me? Like, if I'm playing New York Lotto as much as possible to try and live next door to you. Max, where can people find you, buddy? Your videos are outstanding. It's fantastic stuff.
Catch me over on Twitter at Max Power Play, or you can check me out on YouTube.
Yep.
At Max Power Play as well. I just uploaded a few videos in the last week about Fallout and Anthem, Assassin's Creed, and I did another one about No Man's Sky as well. So I'll have another few coming out this week. But yeah, it was great being on. Great morning for this Saturday morning as well. Always
Absolutely,
good to be on with you guys.
Hopefully you'll be on in a few weeks. Well, I'll reach out to you again. Love to have you on again, to be honest with you.
Yeah, love to.
Thank you, Max. Appreciate it. And then I've got my usual suspects here. Senora Bombastic, who woke me up this morning. And I was actually Max, having a cup of coffee with Boom on my day off. Boom, where can people find you, buddy?
Yeah, listen, first of all, great panel of people. It's always great talking games. You can hit me up on Twitter. DM's open. I talk to everyone at Mr. Boomstick XL. Or if you want to see what I do with my channel, go to YouTube and check out Double Barrel Gaming. I do two live shows a week. And as Mooch just said, we did Breakfast with Boom this morning. It was an incredible panel and a lot of stuff. So check it on the replay.
Absolutely, Boom. Great show this morning. And then I've got my buddy Xbot448, who's got a big show coming up tomorrow with, of course, Goldblum and other people. Xbot, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, definitely. My YouTube channel is Xbot448. If you haven't been over there, definitely go over there and check it out. We do a live podcast called The Next Podcast every Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. It is gaming news with gameplay. So you actually have something to watch while you're listening to us go back and forth about our opinions on what's going on.
Dark.
Yeah.
Vote for the Don.
No, Predator's back into it. The Don, you cannot vote for him. He won last week.
Thank God.
It's a winning
Oh,
game.
he won, huh? He wins a lot. Damn.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
It's your fault too.
Yeah, he's a super fan out there, man. But yeah, we show gameplay. We talk gaming news. You get to vote for the best gameplay, and we are going in tomorrow. We got a couple really good topics. You should follow me on Twitter at Xbot448, and you'll see exactly when we go live. As usual, CrossFire. You know this is where I started, man. When it comes to the podcast, and I love doing this every Friday, Mooch.
I appreciate that, Xbot. It wouldn't be the same without you, brother. Trust me. I mean that thoroughly. And last but certainly not least, the man you always wait for, the Crap Gamer. Crap, where can people find you this weekend?
Crap Gamer reviews. So we'll be there. Embassy morning Sunday.
Doing side missions. He's doing.
No, I'm never doing side missions.
He's playing Dark Souls.
Yeah, I couldn't left about side missions.
God, I would love to have two things. By the end of this generation, love to have Crap playing Destiny and Dark Souls. And that's my mission, folks. There we are. We will start it on every Crossfire.
Never happen, ever.
We will try to do our best. Guys,
on Destiny crap. I'm telling you.
That's
let's do it. Let's do it. Goldblum, let's do it. Let's make it happen, Goldblum.
We'll make it happen.
Let's do it. Guys, next
Even
Friday,
K-Mega doing
7
the
p.m.
raid, man.
If K-Mega's in the raid, anything can happen, folks. Okay? I was there. I saw. We didn't finish the raid when K was there, but he was definitely there. Actually, speaking of K-Mega, shout out to GRG, who's going live right now. So go over and check out K-Mega's channel, folks.
We got to
definitely check out GRG podcast is going on right now. We'll see you guys next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Crossfire podcast. Great show tonight, guys. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you on Sunday at 11 a.m. on Craft's channel for MNC. Peace.
Later.